welcome to Across the Omniverse podcast from Cinema Sangha. I am one of the hosts of this program, Devin Faraci, joining me as he traditionally does.
My name is Derek Faraci, and the Amish kids beat me up again. How are you, Devin?
I'm okay. Derek's laughing because the cat has been yapping it up here in the room, trying to get attention. He sleeps all day except when I'm working. I sit at the computer, and he decides he's got to get attention.
What amazed me is we both log on, we chat for a moment or two, and then what are you doing?
I'm adjusting my little light because it's too bright. I'm washed out because it's daytime.
Okay.
I'm still washed out.
But we talked for like a minute or two.
Yeah.
And then you go, I got to close my door. You close your door literally like the second the door closed. Meow, meow.
Yeah.
And then you let him in. And first he stood like in the doorway. I was like, it'd be amazing if he just refused to move. And he's like, this door's staying open. That's how this works. No secrets in this house. You know, no closed doors in my house.
No, he's the worst, man. I love him.
Best.
And he's just sitting here staring at me. Again, it's when I start working. He will not care about me all day. Like, all day long. I'm still playing with my light, by the way. All day long, he will not give a shit about what I'm up to. And then the fucking minute I sit at the computer and begin writing or begin podcasting, it is like he's got to let me know that he needs attention. Yep. And it drives me crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. I know, I love him too. I love him. He loves you.
Yeah.
He does love you. He came and sat with Derek's lap immediately upon meeting Derek.
Yeah.
But
he slept on my chest when I slept over at your place.
Yeah, he sure did. He may chime in this episode though, so we may get some guest appearances from Gus. Good. Anyway, how you doing over there?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm okay. We tried recording this podcast last night, but it has been raining in Los Angeles, and it was raining to such an ungodly extent last night that the mic was just picking up the sound of the rain hitting the windows and the air conditioning unit here in my little recording area, and so we had to put the kibosh on it. So we're just starting over again from scratch here with this.
Just like baseball.
Just like we got a rain check. We've got rained out, baby.
Rain delay.
So let's just jump into it. We got a lot to talk about today, so let's just jump right into it.
All right.
We got news?
We do. House of the Dragon season 4, or House of the Dragon is ending with season 4. That will be the final season they have announced. So if you've been enjoying House of the Dragon, get ready for it to end. If you haven't been enjoying House of the Dragon, congratulations, it's almost over.
I think this was always the plan because they do have a much more limited amount of stuff to work with than the open-ended Game of Thrones, because Game of Thrones beat the books. House of the Dragon, all of this material is already written and published. It's available. I forget which. It's like a guidebook, a big hardcover guidebook that has all of this, the history of the Targaryen family. So this is like a chapter in this large book. And so they have like a lot of space within that chapter to flesh things out, but they also have sort of the entirety of the thing. So I think 5 seasons was always the plan for it, and I think it makes sense, especially because they have that new show starting, Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Right? It might be this week. I think it's this week or next week, yeah. Which is based on a series of short stories that Martin wrote, Tales of Dunk and Egg, and those are comedic. So it's going to be a totally different tone.
I'm looking forward to watching it. Yeah, the trailer for it I liked. So I'm looking forward to checking that out,
Yeah, I'm pretty psyched about it because,
of the Seven Kingdoms. I'm excited.
Yes, it has a different tone, and it won't be like everything else. I do like House of the Dragon. I do think that it's too long in between seasons to an extent where I do not remember what's happening.
Sure.
That is like one of the most significant versions of that problem in the streaming world, because all of these characters all have the exact same hair. And often hair is one of the ways that I tell characters on television apart. And everybody's got the same fucking hair, man.
Yes, yeah. I realized the other day, I'm not great at faces.
Yeah, me neither.
And hair doesn't really do anything for me. And I think that's a big thing of why I like superheroes, because it's like, I got the costume. I got that costume down. I know who that is. And then if they change the costume, I'm like, who the hell? Who's this now?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, I get that. I get that. So yeah, I'm good. I'm glad that it'll be done. I like when these things wrap up, and that's always a nice feeling.
Yeah. Maybe once the final season comes out, I'll watch it. But as I've said before, I stopped after they did the time jump.
Mm-hmm.
And
Crazy
it
choice.
wasn't because it's not that I wasn't enjoying it. It was just like, oh, I like that. And
And then all of a sudden it's a totally different cast. Yeah, it's like really, it's wild to do that in the middle of a first season. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I wonder if looking back, if any part of them was like, oh, we should have done a full season with that cast, and then season 2 is the time jump.
I mean, I do wonder. Millie Alcock has become so big, and she was so great that I do wonder if that was like, even as they were making it, like, shit, she's amazing. She's like really incredible. Like, why are we not doing more with her? I bet that was a consideration.
Yeah. Well, too late now. Stranger Things had its series finale air in theaters, and it made over 25 million, somewhere between 25 and 30 million is what they say at the box office. Tickets were not sold. You bought a concession pass, and that's how they handled this. So good on them.
Yeah, we saw some people complaining that this might have been union busting, like to not pay residuals or whatever. The reality, I'm almost certain, is that they never negotiated theatrical release for this, so nobody's contract has a theatrical release element to it. So rather than have to renegotiate with every single person, the Duffer Brothers really wanted this. This was like a Duffer Brothers thing. And so rather than renegotiate everybody, they put it out as a promo thing for free, technically. And then the theaters charged money for concessions to get you in the door. But all that money went to theaters. No, not a dime went to Netflix. So they didn't earn a penny. This was not about union busting. This was not about avoiding residuals. Netflix almost certainly made nothing on this, except for the amount of hype that they got out of it. Yes. And, I think it's a great thing. It made a bunch of money for the theaters. It played in about 600 theaters across the country. They got over 1 million reservations. And my understanding is these theaters are packed. They showed, at my local theater, they showed this finale multiple times in the day.
Yes. Yeah, my theater had it like in multiple screens.
Like it was huge. It was a big event. And it got people back into the theater, and it reminded people why being in the theater is good. And especially a show that you spent 10 years watching on your couch, to then show there's a reason to come to theaters and experience this, I think is really positive. If I were Disney looking at Mandalorian and Grogu, I would try to figure out how to leverage that feeling here for that movie. You've watched this on TV at home, but boy, how much more fun is it going to be in a theater full of other people cheering and clapping? Because that's what I kept hearing about, was people in the theater cheering and clapping and crying and stuff like that. So
yeah, that communal experience can't really be created at home.
Yep.
To the same extent,
unless you just like let a bunch of homeless folk into your house.
Sure.
To watch TV with you.
Sure. I mean, I remember like back in the day, and I imagine people that leave their house, this happens still. But back in the day, I would go to like somebody's house where they would be like, oh, every Sunday, 20 of us get together for, Sopranos.
Right.
And we'd all watch, and I despised it because people would be talking the whole time. And I was like, I'm trying to watch the friggin' Sopranos.
Right.
And you're discussing the cheese plate. Like, cut it out. Shut up. But in a theater, I don't like when people are talking. But if you're watching a comedy and everybody laughs, that improves the feeling. If you're watching this and people are cheering during big moments, that improves the feeling, right? There's the video of everybody cheering at the end of Endgame, with the on your left, and everybody starts cheering when everybody shows up, right? So to have that feeling, you can't really recreate that in the home.
No, you can't. And I will say the thing is, the difference between having 20 people over for Sopranos and showing the Sopranos in a movie theater is that even in this age of degraded movie theater etiquette, people are still better in the theater than they are in a 20-person party at home.
Yeah.
Because also in that 20-person party at home, you get folks who are just there for the event. They don't really watch The Sopranos per se or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I think that you get better behavior, even as bad as theater behavior is these days.
Yeah.
Because I don't like doing the watching with 20 of my friends. Like, I don't love it because there's too much discussion and stuff. But I don't mind doing it. A movie theater's fine. Nobody's sitting around yapping about their theories the whole time.
Except for that woman who was sitting in front of me at Marty Supreme, who just kept saying, he's so handsome.
I mean, she wasn't wrong.
He's so handsome.
That little twink.
A little Timmy C. So handsome with his mustache. Anyway, on top of this, Deadline reports that Netflix is considering doing a 17-day theatrical window for WB movies. So
Don't love
that's pretty
that.
rough. That's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
rough.
bad. We don't love that at all.
That's obviously a contractual thing. And also,
movies that are in the pipeline have to be released theatrically.
Theatrically, and also a awards thing, right? Because for Oscars, you have to be in theaters for 2 weeks or something like that. Achoo!
See, I muted it so that you wouldn't hear it, and then you made the noise.
I couldn't think of anything else to say. I was like, I got nothing to vamp with.
Yeah. Oscar rules, you got to be in theaters for at least some period of time. So, yeah. But yeah, it's not great. 17 days, we don't love it. But it's better than no days, I guess, and it's better than Skydance. So
Skydance is...
They own Paramount. They're trying to do a hostile takeover right now.
But I mean, they already... I feel like Paramount movies hit streaming like 2 weeks after release now. Or is that just the ones that don't do well?
It's the ones that don't do well. I mean, I think that they really like play it by ear in a lot of ways. So,
maybe it's Universal that does that. One of them does it where it's like,
a lot of movies
not hitting.
A lot of movies hit much faster than you expect. I have access to a friend's Plex, and he puts every movie that comes out on streaming on home video there. And I'm shocked by some of the movies. I'm like, wait, hold on, that's on home video already? Wait, hold on. So yeah,
hook me up with that because I want to watch Begonia, but I don't want to pay for.
Man, I keep not watching Begonia.
I had the ending spoiled for me, but
I mean,
it was my own fault. I watched a video where they were discussing like their favorite movies of this later half of 2025, and they said we're gonna talk about the ending. I was like, well, that's fine, and then they talked about the ending. I was like, oh no. So
yeah, I saw the original Save the Green Planet, which is a remake of a Korean picture. So unless maybe they changed the ending, I don't know. But it's one of those movies that I have not watched. I didn't make it to it in the theaters, but bad Devin. I'm very disappointed in myself. And I've not watched it at home because every time I'm about to watch it, I go, am I really prepared to give my full attention to a work by this great master right now?
Yeah.
Like, am I like here fully? And the answer often has been, no, maybe I'm not. I'm a little worried that I'm not here fully. The truth is I'll put it on. If I put it on and start watching it, I will get there. Like, I will get there. Like, it's not a question. Like, the movie will suck me in. But in the moments leading up to it, I'm like, well, is this the right time? I get too persnickety about the right time watching movies at home.
I do that all the time. Yeah.
It's very frustrating.
I still haven't watched The Substance, and every day I'm like, I should watch The Substance, and I go to put it on. I'm like, I'm just not in the right mindset for this right now.
It's so good. Oh.
I'm gonna watch Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Well, that's what happens. I'm like, I should watch Begonia, but you know what? I guess Secret of Skinwalker Ranch is right there. So.
Yeah,
so fucking
exactly.
bad.
Exactly.
So fucking bad, man. Yeah. And that's one of my resolutions or my intentions for the new year is to try to make sure I get my ass to the movie theater more often because I got real lazy about it this year. And it's because of the shrinking windows and because of this Plex that I have access to that it's like, well, you know what? I'll see it, in 3 weeks.
Do I need to see, that, like, is the theatrical experience that important to this movie?
What's important is getting out of my fucking house. Yes. That's what's important. Leaving the four walls of my home. That's what's important. And that's a good way to make that happen.
Sounds horrible to me.
All right. What else we got?
Ryan Coogler was on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, and it was a nice hour-long interview. It's a very good interview. He talked about how for the first Black Panther movie, when he signed on, Marvel said, we want you to use Claw and I always want to say Hatemonger, but it's not Hatemonger.
Killmonger.
Killmonger. Claw and Killmonger as the villains, and he said, instead of Claw, can I use Kraven the Hunter? Because the Christopher Priest run on Black Panther opened with him fighting Kraven the Hunter, and he's like, I really love that fight. I want to do that. And Marvel's like, probably not. But we'll talk to Sony. And Sony's like, no, you cannot. We plan to make a horrible movie.
We do not want to create this. We do not want to give this character any kind of cachet. We want to make sure that this character is awful and that everybody is embarrassed to have been involved in the motion picture.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So no Craven.
It's so crazy. That's like so nuts. Like imagine the universe where Craven was in Black Panther and then Sony could spin that out. Like imagine that, man.
Yeah. It at least would have done better.
Oh, would have done way better. He would have had probably better casting, frankly, too.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if Coogler's doing it, maybe. Yeah, maybe. On that tip, he also discussed the original script for Black Panther 2, which was focused on T'Challa and his son, who was turning 8. In Wakanda, they have something called the Ritual of 8, where when the son turns 8, they must spend 8 days side by side with their father and do everything their father says. At the same time, the father must truthfully answer any question the son asks. During that trial of 8 or ritual of the 8 is when Namor would attack Wakanda, and the story was T'Challa and his son dealing with that. Like essentially, T'Challa's got to keep his kid next to him the whole time while he's trying to fight off an invasion.
That's a fundamentally different movie.
Very different movie.
That is fundamentally different. That is not like they just put Shuri in his role. That is totally fucking different.
Yeah. He said Namor was a very different character in that script.
I bet.
So very, very different. So you got that. And then he talked about his X-Files show that he's working on now. That has to be done before Black Panther 3, he said. He's doing that before Black Panther 3. He talked to Vince Gilligan about X-Files and about crafting TV, which, I mean, if you're going to talk to anybody, he's a good one to talk to.
Good choice.
He was asked if Mulder and Scully are going to show up in the show, and he refused to say yes or no. He's like, I can't discuss that right now. So who knows? Maybe they will, maybe they won't.
I mean, they're probably going to try to negotiate to get them back. I can't imagine any reason not to, right? Like,
I can.
Why?
Just do a clean slate. Like, I don't like the legacy sequel stuff.
Oh, I'm with X-Files. I'm okay with it because they have such a universe, and I think there's a lot of interesting stuff to play with. And I think that I'm totally okay with it. Like, I don't mind that with X-Files because I think it's weird just to do a reboot like cold.
But I just feel like then it just becomes their show.
No, not if you have them in as regular characters. If you have them come in like fucking kill Mulder in an episode, you know?
I mean, if you started the series and Mulder is killed, great. But, you know, to me, that always just creates too much secondary story stuff. You know, like I think that was one of the main problems I had with the Quantum Leap legacy sequel was they're like, we're trying to find Dr. Sam Beckett. He's still out there somewhere. It's like, no, just do new, separate. It's fine. Start over. Battlestar Galactica started over. It was great. You were able to change what you didn't want in the universe and keep what you wanted and do different stuff and have fun with it.
I don't know. I think the X-Files universe is interesting, and I think there's interesting mythology to play with, so I don't mind it. And I think also because Chris Carter really blew it so bad on some of the mythology stuff, there's stuff to, like, they can fix the X-Files. They can Clone Wars the X-Files. That's the thing. Because X-Files is great, but, like, it really went downhill. And some of that mythology shit really went to hell. And so to come in and be able to fix some of that stuff, I think is really exciting because I think it adds another life to the original show, which is one of my favorite shows of all time.
All right. Well, disagree. Not that it's not a great show, but although I did not watch the last reboot season.
That's not
that
great.
Was bad.
Yeah, it's not
that
great.
Was bad. And the Critics' Choice Awards were last night. Everybody won. Everybody's a big winner.
What do we get?
Battle After Another won Best Picture.
Yeah.
Chalamet won Best Actor.
Nice.
Jessie Buckley won Best Actress.
Okay.
For Hamnet, which I have not seen.
Okay.
I hear it's very sad.
Yeah.
Yep. Jacob Elordi won Best Supporting Actor for Frankenstein. Which I'm not sure I would consider him supporting actor. But
this is called category fraud, and it's a very popular traditional thing where you take an actor. If you associate with two performers in the same category, you move one down to supporting, so they're not competing. But also, you take an actor who is more of a lead and put them in supporting because they have more meat that they're going to do better in that category because they're going to have like more behind them. So
yeah, the funny thing is, Oscar Isaac was not nominated for Best Actor. So.
What do you
They
know?
didn't even pull off their own thing. And this robbed Benicio del Toro for Best Supporting, which he clearly should have won. But what are you going to do?
Well, here's a good point for time for me to chip in here and say the Critics' Choice Awards is nonsense. It's the most embarrassing award show of all of them. The Critics' Choice, the critics group there is made up of people mostly who do. What are you doing?
Last night, you were like, it's good that we can't do the show today because the Critics' Choice Awards are happening and they've become increasingly important.
I did not say that. I said they're not really a precursor, but there's a lot to talk about. And there is a lot to talk about. There's some really interesting people that won here that I like talking about and that I think are good to note. But the point I'm trying to make here is that the group here, the Broadcast Critics Association, is mostly made up of people who do junket interviews and like those video on camera junket interviews, the 3-minute interviews. Most of them are shills. Most of them, their main interest is getting to meet famous people. If you follow any of the folks that are involved in this group on Instagram, you will see that their Instagram last night is just a fucking barrage of selfies with famous people, because that's the whole point. That's the whole point. It is like sub Golden Globes level. Because at least the Golden Globes people are European, and the Europeans always have better taste than the Americans. The shills from Europe, but the shills from Europe are higher quality than the shills from America.
There you go. Well, that's only because they have health care, so they don't have to shill.
Exactly. They don't have to shill as hard. They shill in different ways. Yeah. But it is an embarrassing group. And there are some good people in there because, honestly, why not join it? Like, if you can get in, it's got a huge fucking membership. If you can get in, why not? Like, because it gets you screenings, it gets you screeners, it gets you stuff. But a tremendous number of the people in that organization are shills and embarrassments. And so they are very often picking people. They want the most famous people to come to it's the Golden Globe thing. They want the most famous people to come to their party. Yeah. And so that's what's happening. And then also a couple of years ago, it was real. They were doing payola. That sort of blew over a little bit. They were doing payola. So they were making studios buy tables, extra money, and then being like, boy, that'll wink, wink. That'll really help.
You probably want to sit up close, don't you, in case you win?
Yeah. All right, who else won?
Amy Madigan won for weapons.
That's really great. That's really interesting, and it's hard to know. Again, this is not a precursor award necessarily, but any award kind of can be in that it gets somebody's name bumped up higher in the discussion. And so people at the Oscar level might be looking at this and going, oh, Amy Madigan, that's right. I really did like her in that movie. It was really interesting.
She's
and
great.
I like Amy Madigan. So yeah, that helps. And I would love to see her get nominated. I love when people get nominated for horror movies.
I agree. Miles Caton won for Best Young Actress. He's the kid in Sinners.
He's great. He didn't know how to play guitar.
Yeah, that is
taught him.
That is wild. Like when I saw that movie, I was like, this kid's a really good actor, but they must have been like, okay, first we got to make sure that this person can play guitar at a master level. Although I know nothing about guitar, for all I know, he's not very good at it. It sounded great to me, but I figured that's what they looked for first, was like somebody who can play blues well, and then the acting will come next, right? Like, you know, but no, learn for the role.
I think he's not an actor either.
He's not? How did
No, he's a singer.
Oh, is he a singer?
I think that's his deal. If I remember correctly, I'm going to look this up right now live on the air. I'm going to give the folks at home, the middle-aged men Googling that they love so much. I believe he's a singer.
Interesting.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, he's a singer.
Okay. All right. So he's got performance in his blood.
He's got performance in his blood. Yeah. So yeah, he got famous like doing videos on the internet singing, and and then this is his film debut. I don't think he ever actually acted previously. He was good in this movie.
Amazing. He was amazing. He was absolutely and it's not an easy role.
It's a real role.
Yeah. He was fantastic. He was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Moving on, Paul Thomas Anderson won Best Director.
Sure. I'm great with it. Like I think this might be PTA's year to win an Oscar because he's never won an Oscar. I don't think that this is not The Departed, where he'll win the Oscar and you go, well, this is actually an Oscar for something else. But One Battle After Another is a great movie. But I do But also I think Ryan Coogler, I mean, it's like amazing. You know what I mean? Like, it's just an incredible thing.
Yeah.
Josh Safdie, I think, did really amazing work this year too. So, I mean,
there's no shortage of choices,
right.
Which makes it, I guess, a little more fun for people that enjoy the award season stuff of like, who's going to win? Who could it be?
Exactly.
Is there going to be an upset? But,
well, I like it when there's a bunch of people who are good, and then I get to root for all of them. So my odds of being happy on the big night are increased.
There you go. Coogler did win for Best Original Screenplay. I'd read that they did not show this on the ceremony, but I don't know if that's true.
It's possible. None of those critics know how to read, so.
Oh, shots fired.
They definitely can't write. I'll tell you what. I know a couple of personally. They definitely can't write some of
these. Anderson also won for Best Adapted Screenplay. Sinners won for Best Ensemble. That's Francine Maisler was the casting director for that. Adolfo Veloso won for Train Dreams, Best Cinematography, which I have not watched. I heard it's very good, but I have not watched
That's a real front runner for big awards. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet either. Again, one of those like, hey, am I in the right mind to watch the 2-hour poor people movie? That I heard is amazing, but I'm going to have to actually give my attention.
It just looks real sad. Best Production Design went to Frankenstein.
Yep, that's great.
Best Editing to F1. I would agree. I mean, that movie was
really well edited movie.
Really
like very often you don't notice when something's really well edited, but this is well edited in a way that you actually notice. I really was very impressed with it.
Yeah. Frankenstein for costume design.
Sure.
Frankenstein for hair and makeup.
Okay.
Avatar for best visual effects. That's
a gimme. They should just have that set aside at the Oscars right now.
Yeah, I saw people on Reddit, on the DC Reddit, being like, "Superman was robbed." It's like, it was not.
No, it was not. No.
Like, I think Superman has some really good CG in it and effects in it, but come on. I mean, come on.
No, I mean, each of these Avatar movies gets more and more insane, like in how good the effects are. Like, I mean, Avatar: Fire and Ash. There are intense sequences of that movie where I forgot that I'm looking at digital stuff. Just did not even recall that it's digital.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning won for best stunt design.
Sure.
K-pop Demon Hunters won for best animated feature.
Okay.
Naked Gun won for best comedy.
Nice. That's nice. It's nice to see that getting a little bit of a, again, these shills, they did a nice thing for once.
There you go.
We love the Naked Gun. It's a great fucking movie.
It was fantastic. Highly recommend.
I saw a trailer for a new Liam Neeson movie.
Oh yeah?
Speaking of Liam Neeson's, it's called Cold Storage.
Oh yeah, I saw the trailer for that. With
Joe Keery from Stranger Things. I'm gonna watch that.
It looks fun.
It looks fun, and I like Joe Keery. That was my big takeaway from watching 5 seasons of Stranger Things in a week, was that I like Joe Keery.
There you go.
He's got like a really good vibe. He's an enjoyable kid, and also apparently his hair really is good.
Well, good for him.
Like, because he has a lot of hair in that trailer too, so it's not wearing a wig like some of those other people on that show.
I've seen him in a movie, and I can't remember what the movie was. I know he did that one, that found footage one. I haven't watched that. But the Ryan Reynolds video game movie. What is that called?
Extra Man or whatever it was.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's in that. And I remember being like, he's there, but he also didn't have anything to do in the movie. So I can't blame him on that.
He's definitely playing a more Steve Harrington character in this trailer. Yeah. So they're leaning into that, but I'm okay with that because I like Steve Harrington quite a bit.
Yeah, Steve Harrington's a good time. Secret Agent won foreign language film.
That's pretty much a lock for the Oscar.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. K-pop Demon Hunters won best song. And Sinners won best score.
And The Pit took a bunch of TV awards home.
Oh, we want to skip to that? Okay.
No,
best drama, The Pit.
I think we don't have to go through every single different category. I think we hit the big ones right there. The Pit took a bunch home. That's really exciting. That starts again this week.
Yes, I'm excited.
Thursday.
Ray Seahorn won?
Yep, for Pluribus. Ray Seahorn?
Ray? I'm sorry, I said Ree. I thought I couldn't remember if it was Ree or Ray. I know it's not Rhea. I learned that.
It is not diarrhea.
No.
Diarrhea
And
ceiling.
Tremel Tillman, he won for Severance. People love
Nice.
him.
We love him. We love him. We love the Tremel Tillman.
Yeah.
We were late this week. We're gonna be late again next week, I think.
Uh-oh.
Because the Golden Globes. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the Golden Globes.
There you go.
I gotta watch the Golden Globes. I gotta do it. I didn't watch this because there's too many people who are gonna be on my TV screen that I was gonna be irritated were on my TV screen. But the Golden Globes I gotta watch because I kind of love that disaster of that particular program.
All right.
So, but we'll talk about how we're gonna do that next week. Off the air, we'll talk about it. But folks at home, be aware we might be late next week again. We can maybe do the podcast in the afternoon on Sunday.
Who knows? Who knows? And then the only other major award was Ike Barinholtz winning Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series.
The Studio One comedy series.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm talking about Ike Barinholtz.
You love your boy Ike.
I love my boy Ike. I think he's great. I think he's fantastic. Yeah. Sarah Snook won for All Her Fault, which I heard was not a good show. But I
heard it's very watchable.
That's what I heard. Yeah. And the Adolescents won a bunch of stuff. South Park won Best Animated.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. What else we got for news?
We have a new Wonder Man trailer for the show that starts in like 3 weeks.
Uh-huh.
And it gave us a little bit more of a look into what the show is about. Mainly that Simon Williams is a struggling actor who has superpowers but hides it because people don't want to hire superpowered people for their movies and shows.
So I'm trying to figure this out. An earlier trailer made it seem like the director of the Wonder Man remake was going to give him powers.
Yeah.
And then this one doesn't make it seem that way.
No, this one makes it look like he has to hide that he has powers. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious what the actual take is here. I'm very, very curious about this.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I'm excited. I mean, I don't love that it's all dropping at one time, but
nope.
I'm psyched to watch the program.
The end of the trailer has a very good joke where they're on Hollywood Boulevard, him and Trevor Slattery, and they're running from Department of Damage Control. And Trevor Slattery says, "Use your super speed." And he goes, "I have a car." He goes, "Okay, use your super speed to get to the car." Like, that made me laugh.
The little bits that we get of those two guys doing buddy comedy, I'm kind of psyched about. That looks really good. Yeah, it looks really, really good.
I'm very much looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, Ben Kingsley having a time of his fucking life as Trevor
Yes, he really is. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild.
He loves this character.
He does.
Did you see the leaked photos from Doomsday of the costumes?
Yeah.
They're not that exciting.
No.
They're definitely, I'm almost certain they're real. It's very hard in this day and age to be 100% sure.
Sure.
But if they did fake it, they did a very good job of faking it, in that this is how those photos are in fact taken, that they take them in front of the white backdrop, because these are the photos that they're going to use for toys, they're going to use to put on marketing materials. So it's a very good
Cyclops Diet Coke can.
Exactly. And they look pretty legit to me, is my take on it. I will say that I like that Shang-Chi's outfit's a little bit better this time, I think.
Yeah, his outfit looks better.
A little bit better. And we'd already seen it in the trailer, but I like that Cyclops has his Jim Lee era.
Is that trailer out yet?
Yeah, it's out in theaters.
Oh, yeah, I know it's in theater. I didn't think it was online. I know there's leaks of it, but I haven't
seen
watched
it. Yeah,
I haven't watched it.
I watch all the fucking leaks. You know, it's funny. Grace Randolph is on Twitter like, I can't talk about this stuff. And Brandon, whatever his name is like, Brandon Davis is like, this is really hurting those of us who make a living off the discourse. And it's like, go screw, bro. Like,
I don't do it for that. I don't do it because they're always crappy quality. And I'm like, I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, but whatever. It's a fucking trailer. And they're not good trailers, by the way. So, I mean, like, that's the other thing. Like, they're just not good trailers.
The second Doomsday trailer dropped online with Thor.
Yeah.
And
not a good trailer.
Nope.
Not a good trailer. Not interesting. Just not interesting at all. And it feels like they feel kind of purposefully not interesting.
Yeah.
Like they're not putting anything in these.
To me, they feel like they're like, you're gonna see this. So we're gonna, and also, I mean, these are trailers leading up to a trailer.
And it's also a year out is part of the deal, right? It's a year out, so that's part of the deal. But I think they're very not interesting. What is interesting is that 2 of these trailers are about children. And the X-Men trailer is not, but one could argue that Scott is Professor X's child, or maybe Scott's pretty mad at Sentinels, so maybe one of his kids bought the fucking farm.
Maybe poor Nathan got taken away.
Poor Nathan got took.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, who knows? I don't know if the children
I'm pretty
aspect...
sure, based on the Captain America and the Thor trailer and the post-credit scene in Fantastic Four, I get the feeling that Doctor Doom is collecting children for something.
Could be.
Because he was like, I could do a better job than that last Thor movie.
Well, I will say, though, that the thing about the Fantastic Four is that assuming Franklin Richards, which he does seem to have the same powers that he has in the comics, that makes a ton of sense for Doctor Doom to grab that kid.
Yeah.
The other kids, less so. But, like, Franklin, who has reality-altering powers, that is 100% the kind of thing that a dude like that wants.
What if the movie is just like a remake of the Popeye movie? And he's like, we got to get the kid because he knows where he can show us where the treasure is. And the whole thing is them chasing after him for a treasure. That would make me so happy if, like, Robert Downey Jr. is doing a full, like, Poop Deck Pappy voice the entire movie. Hey, kid, it's me, Dr. Doom.
Okay, what else we got?
Get me to the treasure, kid.
What else we got?
That's it for news.
All right, we got letters?
We do. James says, hey, Devin and Derek, been watching The Lowdown, and it seems like a pretty interesting companion show to Watchmen so far. So have either of you been watching The Lowdown? If so, any thoughts? Sorry, the question is kind of worthless if you haven't checked out The Lowdown and might be hard to answer without getting too spoilery. So it might be a bad question. Anyway, bit fan of what you guys do. Just a
big fan.
No, I know.
Don't
fan of what you guys do.
Don't fucking humiliate the listeners.
No. The amount of typos I do, it's you got nothing to be ashamed of, James. Thanks for the countless hours of enjoyment.
Have you watched Lowdown?
I have not.
I have. It's great.
It's on my list, but again, it's one of those things. Like I'm like, I'll watch that, and I'm like, or I could just watch Cheers.
It's funny.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Okay.
It's, so your problem with Reservation Dogs, same creator, Sterling Harjo, was that it was a comedy that was too dramatic.
Yeah.
This is a drama that has comedy.
Okay.
So I think that balance might work better for you.
Yeah.
And Ethan Hawke is so good in this movie, in the show, I mean. He's amazing. And he's in this movie Blue Moon that's playing right now in limited release, and it's like an Oscar picture, and I loved it. And the difference between his character in Blue Moon and his character in The Lowdown is insane. Like, the range this man has, like, it's just incredible.
What about Black Phone 2?
I haven't seen that one.
I liked it. I like Black Phone 2.
I haven't seen that one.
I enjoyed it.
But Lowdown's really good. It's a companion to Watchmen because it's set in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But it's in the modern day, and it's got a lot of social issue stuff going on. There's Nazis and stuff like that. But it's very good. It's very funny. It has the feeling of a sort of like a vibey detective novel,
Okay.
So like, it's like if Carl Hyacin was writing detective novels in Oklahoma, kind of. It's a lot of fun. Keith David's in it. He's really great. Your boy, you love him.
I love Keith. Although I did not watch his other show that came out on HBO this year.
Which show was that?
The one with the dude from Lost. He got canceled. It was like a 70s action mystery show or something.
Oh, yeah. Nobody watched that one. Yeah, I don't blame you. Who wants to watch that? This, though, is very good. So I highly recommend The Lowdown. I think it's very funny that Ethan Hawke has got this incredible year and Winona Ryder is still churning out Stranger Things. I feel bad because obviously they, Gen X royalty, Ethan and Winona, coming out of Reality Bites especially. I think that the series finale of Stranger Things references and homages Reality Bites.
Does it?
Yeah, because when they're all hanging out on the roof of the radio station.
Yeah.
That's a very famous bit in Reality Bites. They're all hanging out on a roof, and it's like kind of like the end bit business. And Maya Hawke is obviously in that, who's Ethan's daughter.
Yeah.
And she's, by the way, incredible on that show. I love her.
We'll hold off on the Stranger Things talk.
Anyway, the Lowdown's great. I highly recommend it to everybody. And I think Sterling Harjo is like a real significant talent. And I mean, honestly, the one complaint I have is that one of the things I loved about Reservation Dogs was getting a really good look at native culture and native world, today. And there's not that many are native characters, but there's not as many. And I kind of want more. Like, I kind of loved that in Reservation Dogs, so.
Did you watch Dark Wind?
I watched half of the first season.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand what was going on. Like, I didn't understand, 100%, what kind of show it was. And that got me a little frustrated. Okay. And so I didn't mean to drop it, but I just sort of stopped coming back to it. Do you know what you know how that happens sometimes with a show? You just kind of don't catch the next episode. It's season 4 is coming out. I probably should watch it. Now, I did not realize at the time that this Dark Winds is an adaptation of a series of detective novels.
Okay.
And so at the time I thought this was going to be some kind of paranormal show.
Yeah.
And it's not. So
probably about evil farts or something.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going to have to go back and that might be one of my next shows to have on the playing constantly in my home.
Yeah. Yeah. That's on my list as well that I have not started.
I mean, I love Zarn Clarnan, whatever his name is. I love him from Reservation Dogs. And he's in that. He's one of the leads in that.
Andrew says, hello, gentlemen. I hope you're both doing well. And Derek, I hope navigating the job market has been largely painless and rewarding. I've got my fingers crossed that everything will work out soon. It might. In that vein, if you could work for a fictional job or company set in Marvel or DC Comics, which would it be and why?
You go first.
That's rough. My first thought would be something like Daily Planet. I probably don't have the skills for that. I mean, I'd probably end up at Big Belly Burger, I don't know. I don't, it's a hard one to answer. I'm trying to Wayne Tech, maybe some low level job at Wayne Tech. Cause I'm not gonna be a scientist or something, but Wayne Tech gets attacked all the time. Daily Planet gets attacked all the time. I wouldn't want something like that. Maybe Mr. Terrific's company. They seem pretty safe. So probably there, I guess. Or if the Flash Museum, if I could work at the Flash Museum, that'd be awesome. I'd love that. There you go. Flash Museum.
I would like to work for either Stain or Advanced Idea Mechanics.
Okay. Well, two different ways we looked at it.
Try to kill Iron Man. But more specifically, those feel like jobs that have a pretty good chance of getting superpowers.
Yeah.
And I would like to get superpowers. Even if it means I turn into a big monster, which is probably most likely the outcome of working at either of those two places.
Sure.
I still would like that. I would like to have superpowers. I would like to. And the thing is, if I got superpowers, I think what I would do is not so much traditional villainy, as it is just find everybody who has ever wronged me and fuck them up.
Yes, that's not traditional villainy at all. That's not what 90% of villains are doing all the time.
Well, the thing is, they're doing it in a big way where they're Iron Man did this to me and now I'm going to kill Iron Man. No, I'm oh yeah, that fucking guy that lived down the street from me who I hated, I'm going to fucking blow up his house.
But that's how it starts is I'm going to go get that guy who was mean to me in 5th grade, and then Iron Man comes and stops you, and you're well, now I got to take out Iron Man, don't I?
No, I would just not bother. I was okay, fine, you stopped me this time, but I'm going to keep getting out of jail because I got superpowers, and I'm going to keep killing these fuckers who were mean to me on the internet. I would do a superpowered version of the end of Silent Bob Strike Back. Yeah, that's what it basically would be. I would be just finding everybody who was ever mean to me on the internet and blowing up their house. That's 100%. I'd be if I've had strength, I would be punching them into orbit. That would be one of the things I would do.
Yeah.
Also, I would also take care of the government.
Okay.
That's the other thing. I think I might have to make that my first priority is take care of the government. like because it's bad, shit's bad. So I think as a supervillain, I think that would be my first priority, and then I would make the superheroes have to defend the fucking fascist overlords that run this country.
That'd be an interesting story,
and prove that they are in fact not really heroes.
Yeah.
How many times has that story been done?
I'm sure a couple of times,
but not that many, because I think most of the time the comics don't really lean into the government's super evil, like from the top down. Like there's like evil
there's
organizations.
The Captain America story
where President Nixon shoots himself in the head.
Yeah. Dark Knight Returns, kind of, but not really. I mean, they have the whole thing where Reagan's like, "Hey, Superman, you gotta go take care of Batman," but it's not pushed as like America has become a fascist state so much,
right?
You know.
I mean, basically, I'm like a V for Vendetta where Captain America has to defend the fascists, kind of. And I would make him have to defend it. And he would give me this whole, like, this is the wrong way to do it. And I'd be like, go fuck yourself, Cap. Like, there's no other way to do this.
The last, 20 years of comics have always been when they run into stories like that, except for Hydra Cap, where Captain America's on the other side of it, where, like the Civil War was Captain America being like, no, the government is wrong. This is the wrong thing to do. I'm against it.
But he wasn't trying to topple the government.
No, he was not trying to topple the government.
That's the thing. No. So what would happen in that scenario where somebody tried to topple the government? I bet Cap would have to feel like he would need to get involved and stop it.
He'd put on his Nomad suit with a nice V-neck and be like, I'm Nomad now. Now I'm Nomad. Look at me. Look at my chest. I shave. I wax my chest. I'm Nomad.
All right. What's our last letter?
Darren says, hey guys, lately Devin has been plowing through Stranger Things despite the fact that he doesn't appear to be enjoying it. I'm just curious as to why, especially these days where you have about a million other things to watch at your fingertips. Do you like torturing yourself? Is it FOMO with the finale looming? Or do you like it and just don't want to admit it? You can be honest. This is a safe space. I actually really like the show, but no judgment either way. Hope you both had a great holiday.
All right, so here's the deal. In the past week or so, I've watched all 5 seasons of Stranger Things, which meant I would watch a season a day almost. So I really was locked in. This is my full-time job for the basically Christmas to New Year stretch. That was my full-time job. And it was, in fact, inspired by the finale. And it was inspired by sort of the idea that this was such a big cultural thing that I didn't know. And that I decided I wanted to know what it was. And in the course of my viewing, I got really excited a number of times whenever I would come across something that was a meme. It was so exciting. Would you
do the Leonardo DiCaprio meme?
100% me pointing. I'm straight up pointing. And nobody got more excited than me when Eddie Munson said, Chrissy, wake up. Because that became a song on the internet, which I loved. I loved that song. And you can hear in his voice why they made it a song. But stuff like Maya Hawke at the Scoops Ahoy, that became a big meme, her and the You Suck board, right?
Yeah.
And all kinds of other stuff that were big memes. And so it was very exciting to get to see those things in context. But yeah, it was largely because the finale was coming and I felt like I didn't know anything about this big cultural thing necessarily. I dropped out after 2 episodes in the first season when it first aired, and I wanted to know about it. And one of my things is, generally speaking, I don't love complaining about a thing unless I'm actually knowledgeable about it. I try to avoid doing that when possible. Not always. Obviously, sometimes I complain about things without knowing.
The other guys when Mark Wahlberg believes that his ex-girlfriend is cheating on him because he refuses to accept that they've broken up, and he goes to her dance studio, and there's a guy there who's like, hey, you're causing him problems. He's like, you think I can't do this? And he starts doing amazing ballet, and then they walk out, and Will Ferrell's like, I can't believe you know that. He's like, yeah, of course. There were kids we wanted to make fun of in the neighborhood, so we learned how to dance to make fun of them. And it's like, that's you. It's a very New York thing to be like, I'm going to learn everything about this so I can really hurt you.
Yeah, you really want
I had bullies that knew everything about comics just to rip me apart about comic books.
Yeah, a true hater has to really have knowledge. A true hater has to have knowledge. But here's the thing. We're going to go into spoiler territory now. So be aware. We're going to spoil this last season of Stranger Things and the finale. We're going to take this as an opportunity to kind of go deep on some of the Stranger Things stuff, which is that I came to like the show while also recognizing it's not very good. And by season 3, I thought season 1 was not good. Season 2 was one of the worst shows I've ever watched ever. It was unreal how bad season 2 was. Because season 2 was just season 1 all over again, but they made it worse somehow. It was like insane. Like it was like so clearly like they had no idea why they were doing a season 2. They just did the same shit again.
Well,
and
I guess the original idea was it was going to be an anthology series where every season was about different people and different stuff.
Maybe, yeah.
But then they were like, people really like these kids. Let's keep going. So they didn't really have, a story arc. They did not plan it to be 5 seasons or anything, from my understanding. And so they just kind of had walked into a second season, and we're like, the easiest way to do it is just do the same, right?
Well, I'll tell you, in season 1, they were going to kill Steve Harrington. His character was supposed to die.
Oh,
and
really?
they just like Joe Keery so much they kept him around, which I think was a great choice because I think Steve Harrington might be my favorite character on the program. But by season 2 was awful. Season 3, though, it was like somebody said to them, "You guys know this is bad, right? Like you do know this is bad, right? Like you can just lean into being bad." And somebody else might have said to them also, maybe you don't understand the 80s at all. They don't understand the 80s at all. But you watched a lot of 80s movies. So why don't you just make 80s movies? And that's what season 3 is. Season 3 is an 80s movie, like in a lot of ways. And I found that very enjoyable. Like once they dropped the idea that this was going to be a show about the 80s and turned it into a show that was about watching movies from the 80s, it got better. Season 4, I thought, was astonishing because one of the complaints that we often hear about streaming is that the seasons are too short, so you don't get the time to have those filler episodes and like the character episodes or whatever. They managed to take a 22 episode season of a TV show and jam it into 9 episodes with all of the filler, all of the bottle episodes, all of the everything. Like it was, I watched it and I was like in awe at times that I was like, this is truly boring, like in a really incredible way. The fact that Hop spent the entire season being tortured was crazy to me. Like that was nuts. I could not, not in a good way, by the way. This is not like one of those, oh, what a choice. It was like, holy shit, he's going to escape and get caught again. Like, how is that possible? How is that the decision you guys are making? But it's the decision those guys made. And, but season 4 introduces Vecna, which kind of gives the thing a little bit of structure at that point, finally. And then season 5, I actually quite liked it because they did a thing I did not expect them to do, which was they doubled down on the world-changing implications of the season 4 finale.
Yeah. Like,
when the finale, I watched the finale of season 4, which is 2.5 fucking hours, by the way. Insane. Like, why make 9 episodes? Why not just make 11 episodes if that's how much fucking space you want to have? I don't understand. But 2.5 hours. So like I started the finale of season 4 at 12:30 a.m. because I was like, okay, I'll be done in about an hour and change. That'll be fine. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, it's 2 in the fucking morning and this is not over yet. And then the fucking story ends and then it keeps going for 45 more minutes. And
yeah.
But then the end of that, where they look out over Hawkins and the whole town is like covered in clouds of hell, upside down shit and whatever, and there's giant gouges in the middle of the town. I was like, okay, how are they going to fucking follow up on that? That's crazy, because this is a show that generally resets it every season.
Yes, yeah.
And then they did season 5, and they were like, fuck it, it's Red Dawn. And I was like, all right, I'm in. Like, you know what? None of this makes any sense. I don't believe that this would work in any fundamental way. I don't understand why they don't just empty the town, frankly. Like, I literally don't understand why anybody's in there.
Them controlling the radio station was one of the most confusing things to me.
Why?
Whereas, first off, who's paying the bills? Because they say like, oh, the DJ left. Okay, the DJ left. The DJ does not own the station, first off.
Well, I wonder if the military is just keeping all the utilities on and not charging everybody because people can't necessarily do their jobs properly.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's plausible, but also you would think that they'd be like, we can't just have like a bunch of teenagers hanging out on a radio station all day.
Why not?
And like because they're transmitting, they're definitely going outside the town with their transmitter. That's a huge transmitter.
Well, this is the thing. This is one of the funny things is like, what are the rules of this fucking occupied city of Hawkins? Because
nobody else seems to care.
Nobody cares. Like, there's nothing going on. And within Hawkins, they have new clothes and stuff. They appear to be getting food and movies and things.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't feel like, and they're also watching TV from outside of Hawkins. So I don't fully, like, none of it makes sense. Like, it just does not make sense. And in fact, the show triples down on that in the finale when it jumps ahead 18 months after the final battle. And Hopper's like, guess what, bitches? I'm sheriff again. I've been dead for 3 years. I'm never gonna. Also, not only was I dead for 3 years, but me and Nancy, we murdered 100 soldiers of the U.S. Army.
Yeah.
I'm the fucking sheriff again. How? Don't even bother asking.
Don't worry about it. Hey, don't worry about it. How about that? How about that's why? Don't worry about it.
Mind you, how did I do it?
The last sheriff, who was like my deputy in like season 1, and the other dude, I probably killed him to take the job back. Who knows?
Here's the thing: he was a better sheriff than Hopper. He was present. He was giving press conferences. He was keeping the town informed. Hopper, all that he would do was run around doing secret missions, and the sheriff's office could not get him on the fucking radio ever. Because he was I
do remember that like he just kept in the first season, he keeps breaking into like the government building and punching people, and I'm like, how is he not arrested? How is he not just in jail?
Crazy.
But every time he break in, punch somebody, they'd be like, you gotta go. He'd be like, fine, but I'll be back. And it's like, no, they would lock you up forever.
Well,
that's
what's nuts is at the end of the show when they they don't even kill Linda Hamilton.
No, I guess they don't. No.
She's fine. Like why they just let these people live is like beyond me. I cannot imagine why they just let these people live.
I would say they killed Linda Hamilton's soul because her character has nothing to do and just spouts the same line over and over again.
No, they definitely.
Like, I guess it's a paycheck.
Well, it's SAG insurance. Yeah. She's at that age.
Yeah.
Linda Hamilton, looking a lot like your lesbian aunt who smokes too many Marlboros or whatever. Like she's got like that hair, and she looks like a type, like a very specific, certain type. Like if she was Southern, I would expect nothing but a torrent of racist words coming out of her mouth.
Sure.
But that's my favorite part about the finale is they just skip 18 months and they're like, don't worry about it.
Hey, the government left. It's okay.
Yeah, they killed a lot of people, but like whatever. And I thought that was very, very great. But that I like that about it though. I like that. Also, I think that one of the things that I think Stranger Things did really, really well is that I think the Duffer Brothers are geniuses of streaming. They understand how streaming works.
Yeah.
And more than nobody else has ever understood how streaming works the way they do. And that they are able to stretch things out and then bring them to crescendos in a way that keep you engaged just enough to keep going. Like you feel compelled to keep going even as you think it's not very good or you don't necessarily like it all that much. They are very excellent at that. And they're very good at building action and then cutting away to something else, which is also a way of keeping you super engaged or keep coming back. The show's not intended to keep you super engaged per se, because the show, season 5 does have the characters all explaining the wormhole 72 times because they know people at home are not listening. Yeah. And they're looking at their phones the whole time. And by the way, I've been on Reddit and they didn't explain it enough times.
No.
They did not explain
Which
it
is amazing because the amount of times the show stops to have somebody be like, okay, here's some props. I'm going to tell you what each one of these props stands for. And then spend 5 minutes explaining it to everyone.
It's so crazy. And then characters will go, wait, what does that mean?
And they'll go, wait, what does that mean? And then if you still don't get it, I'll tell you the exact movie or book or TV show where you're just taking this concept from. Yeah. Which is amazing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that Stranger Things, I'm writing a piece about it, and I shouldn't put this in audio, but it's part of the piece, is that Stranger Things is the ultimate show for the AI age, because all that Stranger Things does is take other work and recontextualize it and reconfigure it into something else, but nothing new.
Yeah.
There's not a new moment in it. And it starts off rough like AI did. And now AI can take things and really do amazing stuff with it. Like, it's hard to know what's real these days. Like, it can be challenging. And that's by season 5 of Stranger Things. It kind of gets to that level where it's just taking the things, and it's like nakedly about taking the things. I'm surprised nobody says Red Dawn in season 5. Like, I'm really shocked by that.
Like they only like Wolverines.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the Wolverines.
Yeah, I'm really shocked by that because that is their normal thing. Is that they feel like it makes it okay to just steal wholesale if they spend the whole season showing you Wrinkle in Time. Yeah. It's okay. We're just stealing the whole concept of this entire fucking novel.
It's in the footnotes.
We keep showing you the novel. Yeah. But I think the thing of Stranger Things is it's AI. Is that it takes other things, puts them together, and it gets better at it as the seasons go by. And it gets effective. One of the other really interesting things about Stranger Things for me is that I think almost none of the characters are any good. Which is crazy. I mean, there's some I like. There's some that I like a lot, but most of the characters are not very good, and I think the show knows they're not good.
I'm trying to think of which characters I like.
I like Steve Harrington. I like Robin.
I like Steve Harrington.
I like Dustin.
I like Robin. Dustin I go back and forth on, but overall he's the best of like the young group, I think.
Yeah.
I like Nancy.
I don't like Nancy.
Yeah, Max is good.
I like Max. I don't like Nancy.
What I like about Nancy is that Nancy is just like the badass of the group, and it's just like, don't worry about it. She just knows how to do all this stuff. Don't worry about it. They
did establish it very early on. There's a point where in season 1 somebody asks her, do you know how to shoot a gun? And she's like, have you met my parents? Because they're Reagan Republicans. So that's established from season 1 to be very fair.
Mike doesn't know anything about guns.
Mike's a wuss. I'm sure he would cry if he had to hold a gun. Although at the finale, he wants a gun so bad, but then he just gets a flare gun. But
that really upset me, by the way.
Why?
Because they give him a flare gun, and then what's the big monster called? Whatever it is. Doesn't matter.
Mind Flayer?
The Mind Flayer, they're like, oh, we got to get the Mind Flayer over to this spot so we can do the scene from 300. And, and Nancy's like, you guys go, I'll lead him there. But you're all going the same direction, so you can all lead him there. But that's fine, whatever. Clearly, you've set up Mike has the flares. Mike is the one who should do it. Mike is the one that should shoot a flare at the creature, and then if it starts to turn away, he shoots another one. That should be his big hero moment. But they give it to Nancy instead.
So I think the thing is that he takes the flare and he uses it to shoot the Mind Flayer when it's covered in acetone and put it on fire. So he kind of needs a bigger hero moment than Nancy because he is one of the main cast members. She is too, but he's like one of the foundational cast members. The problem is that you forget that because he has nothing to do in any of the seasons of the program. He is useless as a character. He's boring.
He's not good at strategy, right? Like he's not the strategist. He's not.
No, he's the heart that was established. I think in this season that he was the heart of the group. Yeah, he's the Scarecrow. No, actually, the Scarecrow has brains. Tin Man's heart.
Oh, Tin Man's the heart. Yeah.
But Scarecrow is the heart of the group, though. Scarecrow really is the heart of the group, though. Honestly, at the end of the day,
he's the first one that she meets. Like,
yeah. Well, he has the.
I'll miss you most of all, right? Like,
he's also the dungeon master, so he's like the head of the party, and he has the romance, the main romance of the series. Even though the two actors, him and Eleven, have no chemistry ever at all, and
almost are never on screen together.
Never on screen together. They keep them apart for season after season because they're just not good together. But so I get why he has to have that because he has to do something meaningful against the Mind Flayer. I think, like, because that fire does hurt it, and it does give 11 the chance to. I don't know why putting Vecna on a spike killed him when nothing else does, but whatever. I'm okay with it. Like I wasn't getting too.
It's his one weakness, impalement.
Oh, he's actually not dead, I guess. He needs his head cut off to actually get killed. But I was not super worried about the logistics of a lot of this stuff at the end because I think the show never has been super worried about the logistics of anything. So it's like, well, is it cool? All right, then that's what we're going to do. But I think Mike really sucks. And I think Will Byers is... I'm actually shocked that they made Will Byers important in the final season.
I'm not. I always felt like he was the secret piece throughout the series, from what I remember.
But he does nothing for 4 seasons previously. He spends
the first
2
season
seasons
he's
total.
captured,
Second season,
right?
he's also in the hospital the whole second season.
Okay, he's in the hospital.
So he's 2 of the seasons. He's just gone.
Yeah, I don't remember what he does in third or fourth season.
Nothing important.
Okay.
Fourth season, he hangs out while they're driving around looking for 11, and he's in the back of the van, the pizza van, crying a lot.
Yeah.
His main thing that he does is cry.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a bit of mama's boy. He's got some problems. I know the controversy of him coming out in this season. I thought that scene was well done.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something. That was one of the only scenes in the entire series that made me emotional. And I thought it really worked. And I thought also, by the way, if you had watched any of this fucking program, he's been gay from the start. He's gay. In episode 1, Joyce, his mom, says to the principal, he's a sensitive boy. Sensitive boy in the 80s means gay. Yeah. That's what that means. That's 100% what that means. It's one of the few times that this show, I think, gets an 80s thing correct, is how they talk about that. And his father says that he's an F slur. I think one of the only times that anybody says that word in the entire 5 seasons of Stranger Things, which is among the least realistic things about the 80s.
His buddies would be saying it every third word.
Well, the thing I actually said to a friend of mine, we were talking about it last night, and I was like, those kids would have been making AIDS jokes at one point or another, and they should have done it on the show because they knew Will was gay the whole time. Like, it's so clear he's been gay the whole time. Season 4, he's super gay. He's crying about Mike in the back of the van. Yeah. His older brother has a talk with him where he's like, whatever you are, whoever you are, I love you no matter what. Like, this is all... Jonathan knows that his brother's gay. He's known his brother's gay his whole life, apparently, because he's always been taking care of him. But to do an AIDS joke and then to have that come back at the end and have one of the kids be able to apologize... Sure. Because these kids are all really fucking progressive, like in a way that I just don't buy for the 80s. Yeah. And, you know, AIDS was a real concern. Like, when we were, like, kids in the 80s... Especially in the early, there was like a sense that you didn't, like, people didn't know how AIDS was spread. And so, like, I just watched Eddie Murphy Delirious, and he talks about how a woman may kiss a gay guy on the lips and come home with AIDS on her lips. Yeah. And, like, it's a homophobic joke, obviously, but it also does speak to sort of a real ignorance in the population.
One of my favorite episodes of 21 Jump Street, the TV show, is when Hanson, Johnny Depp, is put in charge of watching over this kid that has AIDS in school. Yeah. To make sure he doesn't get hurt. And the story in this is like the kid got it from like a blood transfusion, but, you know, parents don't want him there because he's got AIDS and yada, 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 all that stuff. And there is a moment where he's sitting there with the kid and Johnny Depp's like, oh, I got to get some chocolate milk. And the kid's like, here, you can have some of mine. And he won't drink it. And it was part of that thing of like, I don't want to, you know, he doesn't say like, I don't want to catch AIDS, but the kid's like, you think you're going to get it this way. That's not how it works. Like, and it was, I remember watching it when it originally aired and when I watched it again, it's a really interesting moment of like confronting the belief, giving the facts, but not being afraid to have your hero of the story be in the wrong. Which has always impressed me with that bit.
It's always better. It's a
really good episode.
So those old TV shows that do, you know, very special episodes, it's usually the way they work is that the main characters learn a lesson. Yeah. Yeah. That they have a misunderstanding and then they learn. That way it doesn't feel like you're being yelled at for not knowing this stuff. It feels like you're learning it with your favorite character. That kid, by the way, is based on Ryan White. He was the kid that got AIDS from a blood transfusion. Lucas Haas played him in the TV movie. It was a big moment. That was a very, very big moment in the culture. Sort of like the Ryan White being a kid that got it from transfusion and being, I mean, like, frankly, a little white boy, cute little white boy. It really changed the way people began dealing with AIDS and stuff like that. There's a lot of other ways that AIDS started getting, you know, but like these kids are in the middle of a time when misunderstanding is rampant. None of the bullies are even doing fucking homophobic stuff like half the time. Like these kids, like all that these kids would be getting called was the F slur all day. You know, like, what, are you going to go fuck your friends back at your little dungeon room?
Yeah.
Like, this is no version. And that's part of my problem with the whole series, is that it's very sanitized. And I think that the world of the 80s was meaner and uglier than this show is giving us. And that's why when it turned into just doing 80s movies, like the first 2 seasons trying to be an 80s story, and then finally transitioning into just being like, fuck it, like, here, we're just going to do some kind of wonderful. Like, I think that's like a better move, because then you don't have to deal with the realities of any of this shit. And but I do still think that, like, you know, one of the kids making a joke about AIDS and then having to apologize to Will when he comes out
later,
I think that speaks to sort of because I think one of the things that's really interesting to me is that how much is this not coming out even to your friends thing slightly alien to modern audiences, to like modern young audiences?
I don't know. I would imagine it's still relevant, right?
But I think modern young audiences have the internet where they get to go talk to people who are like them, but like it's just a different world in the 80s,
which is
like
Robin for Will throughout the
season.
Well,
it's not just the internet, but that Robin is the character who, she's gay, and then she becomes sort of like his little mentor, which I thought was a really touching relationship. I loved it very much. And I love that Steve Harrington was pretty cool about her being gay. I normally I would not like that, but I think that everything that Steve Harrington does that is the opposite of the kind of character that he is makes him more interesting.
I agree.
Like when he's like the jockey ladies man, but he's super cool and sweet. That's much more interesting to me than if he was just like a jerk off all the time. But I thought that his coming out was amazing. I thought it was really wonderful, and I really liked the way that it fits into that kind of storytelling that they're stealing from, which is the character who has to be themselves to finally blossom. And that's like very standard 80s movie shit. Like,
very much so.
And so people who were like, oh, so he gets superpowers because he comes out as gay? Like, yes, that's how it always goes in these movies. Like, you finally kiss the girl, or you finally say the truth, and then you now are unencumbered, and you can do whatever you want.
To be your true self.
That's like very common. But I thought it was really, really well done. I don't think that the speech, whatever, none of the writing on this show is any good.
But part of the speech I really liked, though, was when he's coming out to all of them. I do wish one of them was like, Murray, you don't need to be here. There's no reason for you to be in this conversation. But
Murray, you don't need to be alive.
Murray, you do not need to be on the show. Yeah. But when he's talking to them and he's like, Vecna showed me what would happen if I told you all this. And he showed me that some of you would accept me, and some of you would be worried for me, and some of you would distance yourselves from me. And I like that they don't shy away from that idea. I mean, they do a little bit, because then everyone's like, no, what Vecna told you is what he wants you to believe. That's all lies. We all love you. All that, which you're going to do in a TV show. But like, I like that he says in there, is like, look, we're going to grow apart over time, because, and he's looking at it as like, because I'm gay, you're going we're going to grow apart. But in reality, it's because you're all in high school.
Right. You're going to
grow
on,
apart. Yeah. And I like that. I like that setup of it, and that whole bit of it I thought was really well done.
There's been some good memes of Will at the gay bar at the end of this episode.
Oh, yeah?
One is he's at the gay bar and Jeffrey Dahmer's behind him.
Oh, no. Because he does go to Milwaukee, right? Oh. Well, he'd be okay. He's not Jeffrey Dahmer's type.
Yeah, not Jeffrey Dahmer's type. There's another one, though, that's really great, which is he's at the gay bar and next to him is Vito from The Sopranos in his leather daddy outfit. So I think that's a ripe meme. That's a very ripe meme possibility, him at the gay bar. But I thought it was really wonderful. And I thought it was actually one of the few it was so emotionally honest and real that I actually went to go see if the Duffers were gay.
Okay.
Like, I was like, is this like their story about themselves? Yeah. Like, and they're not. Or at least they're not
open.
They both are involved with women, so who knows?
Okay.
But
the kid who plays Will came out, didn't he?
Yeah, he's gay. Noah Schnapp is gay.
So maybe he put his own self in there. I imagine.
I imagine actually that on some levels that, like, as they wrote the show, they probably were in conversation with him about it. But he was, and he was, again, gay from the first episode, and that does make sense in a show where each of the characters has their own out-group thing. You know,
Yeah.
Mike is the nerd. Dustin is disabled in some way, differently abled, and not really, but like he's different. He's got like
He's got the
his cranioplasty, whatever
thing,
it is. Lucas is black. You know, and Mike is gay. That really,
Which, if I remember right, in the first season, they have them discuss that, and they stop at Will. They don't discuss why Will is different.
they do. In the second season, though, I think Lucas is a pretty boring character up until like season 4 when they make him join the basketball
He's got
team,
nothing
which
to do.
is
Yeah, he's got nothing to do.
they actually talk about it in season 2 because they all go to school for Halloween dressed as the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And he's
he goes
like,
as Vincent
I don't want.
and-
He's like, I don't want to be Winston. He has nothing to do. And I'm like, oh my god, you're just saying it. You're look. He's admitting it. Like that's. It's
Oh my god, he
crazy.
admitted it. Yeah.
Oh god, he admitted. Like, yeah, Lucas got nothing to fucking do. And then they give him the relationship with Max to give him something. But Max is more interesting than he is. And but I do like when he does join the basketball team in season 4 because it is interesting to have that idea of like which side will he be on.
Sure.
It's kind of a fun bit to play with in that season. And also like again, it's stealing from Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah.
Which was the storyline
Starr.
for Martin Starr was he was going to join the basketball team, and then he was going to begin drifting away from the geeks.
Yeah.
I mean, again, everything on the show is stolen. There is
Possibly for the same reason, wherein Martin Starr was getting too muscular, and they're like, we can't keep him as a geek,
yeah,
so we'll have to do this. And then that kid is also like, he's a big kid. Like he's the other 3 are real doofy looking. He's not. It's like this doesn't work anymore. There's no way this kid would not be with the cool kids anymore.
yeah, no,
So we got to figure it out.
Yeah, that's the thing. And so, but it's very interesting though, because this is another thing they just stole. I mean, I legitimately am not sure if there's a single original concept in any
That's
episodes.
a very common trope though for like teen stuff.
So it is, except for the fact that it's another 1970s/80s TV show based on nostalgia that has one of the kids leave the geek group to become a basketball. Like it's all so specific. Like there's just no version of this where they were not had that in mind. There's just no version of this, like at all. There's just no way. Like, and in fact, like
I mean, it's Teen Wolf.
Yeah, but this is it is Teen Wolf also, and I think Teen Wolf is actually referenced a couple of times in that season.
Well, that's because Freaks and Geeks wasn't on TV yet.
Right, exactly. No, it was on TV. It was in the 90s, but Teen Wolf hadn't come out
I'm
in
saying
the time period.
in the show.
Right,
it was
Teen,
not
Teen
on
Wolf
TV.
had not come out yet.
How funny would that be if the series ended and Mike is like, and I went on to create Freaks and Geeks. Based on these adventures, but the studio made me cut out all the weird monster stuff.
That would be amazing. I mean, the whole thing is like Mike having the older sister who is like cooler than him. Like that's Freaks and Geeks. Like every piece of this is also Freaks and Geeks. By the way, like that's the thing. Like
which is funny because in the 80s, the move was always the younger sibling was cool, and the sibling that we're following is uncool. Would always be the format. I think.
Yeah.
Although I guess I think 16 Candles. the older sister, is
Ferris
supposed to be
Bueller.
cooler.
Is she older than Ferris Bueller?
She is older. No,
Is she
she's
older?
I'm pretty sure she's older.
Huh. I think she's younger, but they're pretty close in age though. Anyway, so none of the main characters that interesting. They keep adding characters to sort of fill in those gaps, I think. I will say that Brett Gelman is the single most unlikable human being who has ever lived. And there was not a moment that I was not rooting for him to die, possibly in real life.
It's funny. I've been watching a lot of MST lately. I love MST. And I can't remember which episode it is, but there is an episode after watching season 5 of Stranger Things. I was watching this one where there's like an annoying nerdy guy. And every time he talks, Tom Servo just goes, shut up, shut up. And that was me anytime Brett Gelman showed up on screen. I was like, shut up, just get out, leave. Why is he in here? Stop, please, get rid of this guy. Please.
So
just kill him.
Brett Gelman is one of these guys who is really like small dose. Like he's like, that's the thing. You put a sprinkle of Brett Gelman in something.
He's in The Other Guys. My second mention of The Other Guys. And he's real good in that. He's in like a scene and a half.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you need with Brett Gelman. Yeah. You don't make Brett Gelman a fucking action hero in season 4 of this program where he's literally like fucking doing karate and shooting guys with machine guns.
Yeah.
separate from Brett Gelman's unpleasant politics, because he has real unpleasant politics.
Oh, does he? I didn't know.
Everybody hates him in real life.
Okay.
He is one of these guys who's always complaining and being a bitch and being like, everybody's against me. And like, well, because you're fucking awful. That's why everybody's against you, bro. I've heard this from multiple people who just think Brett Gelman is the worst. And the fact that he does not die in this show is crazy to me. Like, that is a character who is made to die. Like, I just do not know why that character does not die.
I remember, is it season 3 is the first season with him?
Yeah.
I remember in season 3 being like, obviously this character's going to be dead by the end of the season.
Right, he's like,
and then he wasn't. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I thought for sure the Russians would kill him or whatever. Yeah.
No, he's begging to be killed in that season. And then the fact, that he just sticks around and he has a whole action hero storyline in season 4 with horrible. Season 5, they just keep jamming him in there, even though there's no reason for him to be in there anymore. They just keep jamming his fucking ass into the show again and again and again. He comes in and says his awful, awful lines of unfunny dialogue with his most hateable fucking face.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it. I mean, like, it is... Murray sucks, man.
Yeah,
Murray's fucking
terrible
sucks.
character. He's the worst character of the show, without a doubt.
Yeah, 100% the worst character on the whole program.
Yeah.
I think that, like, many of the characters I don't necessarily care that much about, but I still... And I think the show, I think, recognizes this. It keeps the characters apart a lot. I mean, obviously they're trying to create more opportunities to do stuff, but also, like, they minimize a bunch of these characters a lot. Like, Mike is super minimized the whole season, the whole show.
Yeah,
like,
Mike doesn't do anything.
He just hangs around. That's Mike's whole deal, is hanging around.
I guess half of the original 4 do nothing the entire season. Mm-hmm. Right? They just sit around. Mm-hmm. Like, that's all they do.
They're just along for the...
what's the fourth kid's name? I forgot.
Will, Lucas, Dustin, Mike.
Lucas, his entire storyline is waiting for Max to wake up.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all he does.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, maybe she'll wake up today. Mm-hmm. And then I'll have a storyline. And it's like, so he's got nothing to do. And Mike has nothing to do. Will, they do the whole thing where he can connect to Vecna and he's got powers and whatnot. That's fun. And Dustin is dealing with
Eddie Munson's death.
Eddie Munson's death, which is interesting, and it's causing problems between him and Steve as friends.
Right, and there's actual story there, like, and then also like the idea that like Dustin like finally fucks up and that his theory is wrong for the first time and stuff like that. Like, although it ends up working out because they need that knowledge that the thing he was wrong about ends up being how they win the day. But like, still, like, it's a real story. He has a story. Yeah. It's stretched out beyond all fucking belief, but it is a notable story. Yeah. Yeah. I will say I fucking hate Jonathan Byers.
I remember watching the first season and being like, so this kid's a serial killer, right? Like, that's what you're trying to tell me?
He's got dead eyes, and I will also say...
He's a creepy peepee. He's going around taking photos of people through the windows.
This is really mean. I'm going to say a really mean thing about this actor as a physical being, and so I'm sorry in advance to everybody, but I gotta say it. He looks like he's having an allergic reaction to something all the time. Like just the way that his eyes are all squinted up and like his face looks like a little bit like slick in a weird like puffy way. Like, I just don't like looking at his face, frankly. And he looks like he's having an allergic reaction, and he sucks. And the character sucks because he's a mumbly jerk off. And I don't like mumbly jerk-offs.
He's a big whiner.
He's a big whiner. And
I remember when the first season came out, and people were like, it's messed up when Steve breaks his camera. It's not, though.
He deserves it, yeah.
Because he was, like, hiding in the bushes, taking pictures of a woman undressing through her window. Like, that dude deserves to get beat up. Like, that dude's a creep.
That's a good example, by the way, of how the Duffers don't fully understand how to integrate 80s stuff into their show, because that is an 80s trope. Our heroes 100% are taking photos of women undressing through windows. That's an 80s
Or in the least, they're standing in the bushes looking and going, oh.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
the problem is that they're not able to put that in a 2020s program or 2015 program or whatever. They don't know how to thread that needle properly. So they don't understand they should either not do it or they should figure out a way to thread the needle properly. And so that's, I think, a good example of them not understanding their own stuff they're ripping off, frankly.
Yeah.
Although, the good news is nobody does a Porky's and does something really horrible, I guess, or there's no panty raid. Although, I guess that's good.
No. Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm just thinking about the It's Always Sunny episode where they redo Ski School and they realize how creepy all of it is.
Yeah, so good. That's a good example, though, of revisiting that stuff and then being oh, this is weird. This is troubling.
Yeah. It's a great episode.
I ended up liking Vecna quite a bit as a villain. I don't understand what the clock stuff is, except they're ripping off Dr. Manhattan. In Vecna's origin, where they show his origin, the music cue they use is Philip Glass, Prigat, whatever it is that they use in Watchmen during the origin scene of Dr. Manhattan.
Okay.
What they do is they just go, this is the origin scene of Dr. Manhattan. They use the exact same music cue, and it drove me nuts. When it started playing, it's a great music cue, but it is one of those music cues that kind of frankly belongs now to that movie a little bit. But yeah, so the reason why the clock is involved is because Dr. Manhattan's got the clock stuff, but there's no reason within the context of the story why he's got a clock thing going on.
No.
There's none at all. But somebody out there listening can tell me why the clock thing actually makes sense. Let me know.
Maybe it's explained in the play.
It might be explained in the play. There's a play that gives us important information about Henry Creel and that rock that he finds in that guy's briefcase, which, by the way, is a ripoff of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and then they, at the end of the season, go, oh, by the way, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. If you were wondering why he's running around in a scout costume, this is why. It's so fucking funny to me.
Yeah, I did not like that at all. That is the whole thing of all of this started with him, and it's no, it's dumb. Have it be, I don't need that. I hate that kind of. I just hate that kind of.
Oh, I don't mind it because I think they actually walk it back in the very end, which is that he is, because the thing is they do that whole thing where it's oh, he's controlled by the mind flayer, but at the end of the show, he's I'm not controlled by the mind flayer. I chose to do this. This is my. I want this. And we're working together. So the mind flayer exists separate from him.
But no, it exists separate from him. But it's Lord of the Rings. Don't hold it. It'll infect you. It'll turn you bad.
Yeah, that is, they're stealing the ring. But it's all they do on the show is steal stuff. But also, I think that's a very standard trope. I think that's fine. The evil thing. That's a very comic book. One of the things I will say about this is that I think the Duffer Brothers are not they're talented in their own weird way, but I kind of would not mind seeing them do an X-Men.
Yeah,
I think that this show gets a really good X-Men vibe. And I think that they do, a lot of their battles, I think, are really comic booky.
Very
crazy
much so.
Comic booky. And I think that Marvel should be taking a look at this. I'm sure they are taking a look at the show and saying, this is how you do some of this stuff. The psychic battles and stuff like that. And then...
Well, it's funny because one thing I see people complain about is the show will be all right, here we go into our final battle, but first I have to give you a monologue about my feelings.
Yeah.
And it's that's X-Men. And I love
That's X-Men. Well, that was actually one of the reasons I decided to watch the show, was somebody was saying that, was people complain about this, but that's just Chris Claremont writing. And I was okay, you know what, with that context, and I do think the show is very X-Men-y.
The show does have everyone explain every single thing they're doing in their entire lives whenever they're doing something, which is very Claremont. Yeah.
Very Claremont. They all have their little lines that they say again and again and again. And but I also just think that the show does a good job of creating a sense of these characters in relation, separate from the action, which is what's missing from all the X-Men movies until now.
I agree. I agree.
This show does do the, hey, we're playing softball. They're not playing softball because these aren't those kinds of characters, but it does that. So I think that really works, in a big way.
I agree.
So I really feel definitely the Duffers, if they wanted to do an X-Men thing, a Disney Plus New Mutants or something like that, I would watch it because I think they get that. I think that they do. And again, all the battles feel very much like comic book battles to me.
Yes.
throwing people through walls, and there's people like doing this, and like somebody's like,
lots
floating
of
with their
psychic
little
fights.
Yeah, like, and then the fights inside the mind where they're inside, like that's like how it plays in comics. That's great. Like, I definitely appreciate it, and also the constant.
I like the bit
ante.
where Vecna made Hopper think that he shot 11 in the chamber. Like that made me think very much of like a Jean Grey, Emma Frost kind of maneuver.
I also think one of the things I like about what they do here, and it feels very comic booky to me also, is that they're really good at reversals, which is like the heroes succeed and then that actually gets fucked up. And that feels like real end of an issue cliffhanger shit. Like that I think really is well done in this show, that I think like I'm going to say something crazy here. I think that they have a Spielbergian sense of escalation and reversal, in the way that Spielberg's action scenes are all predicated on that. Like, they tell stories within it, but there's always reversals. There's always, he's on top, then he's on bottom. They do that within the storyline.
They do that very well.
Really, really well.
Not Spielberg well, but they do it.
No, but they're in that, like, they're on that page, at least.
Yeah.
And so,
they
like,
understand that method.
Yeah, so like the characters we finally got through the door. Oh no, there's a bunch of guys with guns on the other side of the door. Oh, we beat the guys with the guns. Oh no, there's a secret trapdoor. Like they're just really good at that. And and sort of like continuing the flow of the ups and downs. And again, it feels comic booky to me. Like, it feels very much like we're going to end an issue on one of these like big reveals that we're going to like, or a cliffhanger that isn't like, I just the whole thing, especially the last two seasons, felt super fucking comic booky to me.
I agree.
And I'm sure that's totally on purpose. It's funny that comic books are one of the things they reference the least.
Very few references to comics from there.
Dustin makes a radio he calls Cerebro.
Okay.
But that's one of the few. There's not a lot of references to comic books. And it's kind of interesting because these kids would be reading comic books. This is a really great...
biggest nerds, yeah.
And 11 is 100% an X-Men character. Like, that's like, but also like
I remember that within the first season being like, she's sitting there all day. Why is Mike not just giving her X-Men comics and being like, this is you? This is who you are. Read about it.
Her whole origin's Weapon X. I mean, like, that's like, there's so much of that. Like, it's just, but that would not have been at the time, but like, that's really deeply embedded into it and stuff like that.
Sure.
But I thought that the final season was a lot of fun. I thought that it was maybe 3 is the best season.
Okay.
I think 3 is the best season. 3 is the dumbest. And it is like one where it's like, oh, there's a secret Russian base under the mall. Like, that is so stupid. That I was like fucking so excited about that.
In season 3, don't they go to see like Dawn of the Dead or something?
They do go to see Dawn of the Dead,
which that would not be playing at your mall multiplex.
No, it's a sneak preview too.
Yeah, that's crazy. I like the Thing poster. I can look beyond, but like, oh yeah, Dawn of the Dead is going to be playing at the
Hawkins Mall.
Yeah, the Hawkins Mall Theater.
Well,
like, there's no way that's happening.
That's because the whole season has zombies, and so they need to go up front and say, zombies, we stole it from this. Like, I mean, that's their whole MO. It's like, it really is like if somebody's picking your pocket and going, I'm picking your pocket, so it's okay. Like, that's not how that works, bro. Like, it kind of makes it worse, frankly. But I did like the zombie shit in that season, though.
I don't remember it.
So the zombie...
I remember the one guy, Max's brother turns into a zombie. I remember that, but I don't remember...
Well, he's like the main zombie, and then he infects other people, and then they all come together, and they get squished together into a big monster.
There you go. That's fun.
Which I liked a lot. Like, I thought that was really good. Like, that was really, really fun. So...
Isn't that Akira?
Oh, no, there's Akira stuff in here, too, yeah. No, there's not an original idea. There's not a single original idea. Yeah. I did think it was interesting that the Russian base under the mall looks better than the American base in the desert. In season 4, they go to the American base in the desert where they like. Also, it's very comic booky, like where 11 is like, "Oh, I'm going to go back to the bad guys who are experimenting on me." Like, that's like one of those like, wait, you just needed the storyline. Like, why were you doing this? Like, why are we going back here? Oh, because you needed the storyline to advance in this way. And then also, like, are you going to make this bad guy a good guy? Because that's such a comic book thing too. But at least they did kill Dr. Brenner. That was well deserved, frankly.
There you go.
Any last thoughts on Stranger Things?
Again, I don't really remember the first 4 seasons. I watched them when they came out. I don't remember. I watched the final season over the weekend. I enjoyed it enough, I suppose. I despise when in the first episode of the season, what's her name? Holly, Mike's sister, younger sister Holly, tells him like, "Oh, there's an invisible man that only I can see," and he tells me there's monsters in town. And Mike is like, "No, there's no such thing as monsters," and he doesn't. This does not trigger anything for him to be like, "Oh, there's a problem," and it's like, my man, your entire life has been fighting monsters in this town. How do you not hear that and be like, and it'd be one thing if like this season started and everything is copacetic and everyone's like, "Oh, it's been 2 years since Vecna and he's dead and everything's fine." But no, they're searching for Vecna. They're still trying to figure out stuff. And he's just like, "Nah, she's just a kid." It's like, no, my man, you got to take those things seriously. I despise, and that's one thing that the show is really good about, I think, is they don't do the thing where somebody learns something and then just doesn't tell anyone else for some reason. But they do it there, and it drove me crazy. It was like, this is like, I don't understand how you don't go to, like, tell her, "No, there's no such things as monsters." You don't want to freak her out, but then run to your buddies and be like, something's trying to get my sister, and we have to protect her. You know? It's crazy to me. It's crazy.
Yeah, especially because this show's very good at just like spinning wheels. That I think he could have done that, and I think they could have handled it. It is a weird choice that they make, and it is stupid. But I guess it just goes with Mike being useless.
Yeah.
I mean, that's in character. He's the most useless motherfucker who ever lived.
Instead he's like, "Here's a little toy. This will protect you. Fuck off."
Do you think Eleven's dead?
No.
No.
I think the explanation at the end worked. I really like that. I don't know how she's surviving, but I don't think she's dead. No.
I also don't think
there
she's
is the
dead.
theory that none of this ever happens. I don't know if you saw that.
That the whole thing is his game?
The whole thing is his game, because at the end, when his mom opens the door, she doesn't have scars on her anymore, but she had them at the graduation. Yeah. I think it was just they just didn't put on the scars for one quick shot. But
yeah, I think that's probably the deal. I don't think there is a conformity gate is the big other theory, and Netflix said they have a huge announcement January 7th.
Okay,
right? And people began picking apart elements of the finale, the final bit, the 18 months later bit.
Yeah.
And the theory is that none of that's happening. All of that is an illusion created by Vecna.
Oh,
and the reason why Vicky,
the
reason why Vicky and Susie aren't in it is because Vecna doesn't know Vicky and Susie.
I don't know who those people are.
Vicky is Robin's girlfriend, and Susie is Dustin's girlfriend from Utah, who they all thought was fake, but she is in fact a real Mormon.
She's not even in the season, is she?
Not even in the season. And so then also there's like, I don't tend to believe this, but it is interesting that there's a shot at the graduation where every single person is sitting with their hands in their lap, like in the exact same pose, like with their hands crossed in their lap in the exact same pose. Okay. And it's like it's weird looking. Like it is.
And also
like,
the Derek kid is there for some reason.
Well, that too. But I guess people are like, that's the way that Vecna holds his hands when he's standing or whatever, as Henry Creel, which it feels really loose. I don't believe it, but like it is when you look at the shot, everybody's got their hands crossed in their laps over their junk, like every single person in this audience. It is weird. I mean, it's just not, also maybe not a particularly well done show sometimes, so that could be part of the deal. And then there are boxes of What's It all over the place in that finale, when that was obviously his secret name.
Yeah.
So the theory is that there's a secret final episode that's going to be coming on January 7th.
That'd be pretty funny to do that.
I don't think that's going to be the case because they did the whole theatrical thing and shit like that.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, to do that, they'd be like, by the way, there's one more.
I think it's immense cope from people who are just not super satisfied with the finale. Although it was very satisfying.
Nothing never ends anymore. Every show, there's a secret. I've heard, there's going to be more. They're doing this. When this gets bought, they'll bring back this and yada, yada, yada.
The best thing I can say about The End of Stranger Things is that it ends. It like legitimately ends. Like that's a finale. That is not like, there's not like a thing like where Vecna's hand comes out of the rubble or some such shit. Like everybody's story is wrapped up. We get a sense of where they're going, like enough that feels satisfying, And
there was a part of me that hoped we would see further into their futures, and we'd see like like Dustin's sitting at like a cubicle at like some dead end job, and he's like, I saved the goddamn world like 12 times. No, this is my life. I sit in a cubicle all day.
Yeah.
It sucks.
No, but so I thought I was actually amazed at how much it ended. Like,
yeah.
Usually stuff, especially something as big as this, and they're doing a spin-off show
they're doing
too.
A spin-off, yeah.
But
they'll go back in time, or yeah.
Well, the Duffers say that the spin-off is going to have nothing to do with Hawkins or these characters.
Okay.
And then it's going to involve that rock.
Okay, so we're okay.
So it's going to be lore connected, but they also say it's not like about finding the rock, but that rock and what it's all about is an element of what the spin-off is, but it's going to be unconnected in its own thing.
Okay.
Which obviously they'll bring in these characters at some point, like, don't get me wrong. But it's going to be a different decade, it's going to be a different location. So, yeah. So I'm not, again, it's not the origin of the rock, but like,
yeah,
whatever the rock story is, has
how the rock got to Hawkins or whatever.
No, maybe not. That's not. No, it's not that. I don't think that's not it.
Like, you don't think that would be the end of that series? Would be the rock? That guy
because
in the cave and some
because they said it's not about these characters, and that is in Nevada. That cave is in Nevada, according to the play. Which they don't tell you. They don't tell you. Henry Creel picks it up, so there's just no way that if they say there's different characters and stuff like that, it couldn't be.
But if that's like the end of the series, like that's the first time you see a young Henry.
No, because Henry Creel's dad works at the lab where that rock came from.
Oh, okay.
It's all explained in the play. Okay. So there's like a very heavy connection with all of this stuff, and so I just think it's sort of like. That's just like the vibe of it. That's my take. I don't know. We'll see. And they got an animated show that is set in Hawkins, Tales from 1985.
Okay.
That's coming. But I was really surprised. Usually these shows don't end so cleanly. And this really felt finished. Like I felt like, okay, the end. This is done. Even the 11-bit, they leave it vague enough that could just be Mike being a fucking unable to get past it guy. I mean, sure. I do think that the logic of it is correct. I think that the fact that she is able to pull Mike into her mind while the kryptonite is going, and she does not blindfolded. She's never been able to do that without being blindfolded or have her eyes closed. Yep. That does, I think, really indicate to me that she's not there, that it is an illusion. And her hand is moving
also,
in a way.
I mean, it's literally, they all get pulled out, and then they're all against the car, and one of them goes, "Where's 11?" And then she's back there. Right. So it's like, it feels... Yeah, no, I think they do a really good job setting that up, and when Mike explains his theory, being like, "Yeah, that you didn't cheat it in the earlier sequences." Right. I don't feel like they did it.
No, I don't think they did either. I think it really works. I think the stuff that's set up within it that I think really works too. But I think I like it as vague though, and I like that the issue is that they are all going to believe it, but not necessarily investigate it. I like that. Yes. And that Mike recognizes that if she is alive, he has to leave her be because it's too dangerous not to, not just for her, but for the world. Like if they get her blood again, like it's bad news. So yeah, I was really impressed by that element of it, frankly. I don't usually get that in these kinds of things, but yeah, God bless.
I was really impressed that the series ends with Hopper just standing around while everybody else fights. And he's just waiting to play some Prince. That's his entire thing. That shocked me. I was like, your final big battle, and arguably one of the biggest characters in the show is just hanging out with Murray? That's what you're doing with that guy?
Yeah, I know. It's kind of funny. Yeah, it is really funny. I mean, everybody got to do something, That's
yeah, but you leave Murray behind because he's annoying. So yeah, okay, Murray, you turn on the radio, the album when it's time to
I actually thought that the actual explanation for it, I thought worked. Which is that Hopper is 100% the guy that's going to set off the explosives, but also he needs to make sure 11 leaves because he knows that 11's not going to leave. And so that's why he's got to be where the explosives are. He's never going to, chance letting her stay in the upside down when it blows up.
Yeah.
So I thought that worked. I mean, again, as we said on the phone last night, it's probably because he was busy making movies.
He was doing other stuff. Yeah. So they had to just keep him in front of a green screen, and that was it.
Yeah, that was it. But. All right, that's our Stranger Things discussion. Yes, in the end,
long episode.
In the end, I liked it, but I liked it for what it was because it is not good. It is not a good television program. It is, but it's good at what it does, and what it does is a bad thing, which is make you sit mindlessly in front of a television for 9 hours while looking at your phone. Like, it's a bad thing that it does, but it's very
and his characters
fucking good
repeat what happened 2 scenes before.
Well, which, by the way, I think I said this to you. I said in the podcast. It actually came in handy for me more than once in this viewing.
Oh, me as well. Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, okay, that just happened last scene. That's okay. Now I understand what's going on. So yeah, I mean, but it's very, very good at what it does. All right. Where can people get their letters answered?
That was a long letter sequence. You can send your letters or your emails to ask.cinema.sangha@gmail.com. In the subject line, put what show you want it for, Across the Omniverse or Bad Batch. One question or statement per email, please. Thanks.
All right. You ready to talk about The Love Boat?
Sure.
Let's do it. The Love Boat, Season 1, Episode 4, Message for Maureen, Gotcha, Acapulco Connection. I love The Love Boat. This is one of my favorite shows of all time, and I'm so excited that we're going to be talking about it today. I have so much to say. I have so much to talk about, and there's so much crazy shit we're going to get to discuss with this episode, because that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do The Love Boat as a podcast, because it has, every episode is 3 stories, and those stories have guest stars, and very often those guest stars are people from the golden age of Hollywood who can't get work. And so they end up showing up on this show to just get a paycheck and get craft service and shit like that. And it's unreal. And then also, there are people who are famous at the time.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Bixby is in the middle of the Hulk at this point, isn't he?
No, it's going to start. It starts. The Hulk starts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because this is 75?
77. This is 77. This is the same year the Hulk starts. Yeah.
Okay.
But like Charo is like very famous at the time. She's a celebrity, but it's a certain kind of celebrity. It's the celebrities that do game shows. Like, it's not like real celebrities. De Niro's never on The Love Boat, but like celebrities who do game shows. I know I would fucking die for De Niro to do an episode of The Love Boat.
If they did like a Godfather episode where they just have like him and Pacino, and that instead of Heat, their first interaction is on the Love Boat, that'd be amazing.
It's so good. They're on the Lido deck. Everybody's like the famous meeting on the Lido deck.
Yeah.
So The Love Boat is based...
Did you eat my shrimp?
Is based on a book.
Shrimp?
There's a book. The Love Boat's based on a book called The Love Boats by Geraldine Saunders. It's quote unquote a nonfiction book. And Geraldine Saunders is this woman who was a model who became a cruise director, the first female cruise director, she says. And the book is about all of the hijinks that happens on these cruises back in the 60s.
Yeah.
And her thing is, The Love Boat can be pretty risque for like a primetime TV show. Her book is pretty super fucking risque. And it is like her thing is like everybody comes on board and they're all gonna fuck. And she tells stories about like having to like guys banging on her door trying to fuck her and stuff like that. Like, it's insane. She also does a whole bit about how she was very beautiful, but her tits were too big, and that it was trouble for her as a model.
It's tough. Different times.
Tough life.
Different times, I guess.
It's a pretty good book. She's got a really nice writing style. It's like very breezy. It's like
you read it?
Yeah. It's not in print. I had to find it illegally. But it is really breezy, and it's like real Mad Men. Like, where everybody's like, you know, all these women, they wanted to make sure they ended up with the most handsome busboy. Like, it's like real, like, and like all the men, they were there, you know, like it's real sexual revolution stuff. And there's a lot of stuff in it that when you read it now, you're like, oh, that's assault. Oh, that's bad. Oh, this is horrible.
I mean, one of the main storylines of this episode is, I believe, assault. And we'll get to it, and how they keep it quiet. So, but we'll get to that.
So they got adapted into a TV movie called The Love Boat. They made 3 pilot movies, and they ended up then turning it into a TV show. TV show ran for a long time, I think 9 years.
Midnight Run.
Just like Midnight Run. It ran for 9 years. It hit like its ratings peak in like 83 or something like that, and then it was downhill from there. They began taking the Love Boat to different locations after that. They began like sailing to Europe and shit. Most of the episodes they're going like to Acapulco and stuff, which is what they're doing here.
I'm guessing most of the episodes you don't really see where they're going, though, right? It's usually just on
none
the
of
boat,
that.
isn't it?
Every now and again, they'll disembark a little bit.
Yeah.
Very rare. Almost every episode is set on the boat. We don't get some of the most specific locations that we get later, including like the pool deck. I don't think that's in this episode at all. Pool deck, as the show goes on, pool deck is great because TV used to be so different back in the late 70s because they would have the pool deck and they'd be having scenes on the pool deck, and that's where Isaac is the bartender most of the time. And all the background actors are barely wearing any clothes. Like, it is really like teeny weeny itsy bitsy polka dot bikinis and then guys in banana hammocks. Like, it's crazy how much flesh is on display. I don't think you would do that on a broadcast show now. I just don't think you would have that. People would not be happy about it. We live a much more puritanical time. So
yeah, I guess.
they had different captains in the movies. Captain Stubing is the captain though when the show begins. He takes in the first episode. They say that he took over from the previous captain, and Gavin McLeod, the great Gavin McLeod, one of TV's great bald men.
Yes,
he's got like real Jean-Luc Picard energy. I say.
I mean, there's a reason why Saturday Night Live did a Love Boat: The Next Generation sketch, because it fits perfectly.
It does, right?
It's crazy. Like if you told me that the pitch for Star Trek Next Generation was Love Boat in space, I would believe you. I'd be like, yeah. Because clearly Doc is Will Riker, Stubing is Picard, Gopher is Data, and what's his name? The bartender,
Isaac.
Isaac is Geordi, right? Like, and then the woman, whatever, I forgot.
Julie, our cruise director,
is Diana Troy.
Yeah, no, it really is. It is spot on. But also, like, it's funny because Gavin McLeod has that Picard energy, but like a sitcom Picard energy, like where he's like the no nonsense captain, but then he also gets flustered and stuff.
Well, he'll get flustered like, I'm the captain. I can't laugh.
I love him so much. Today, by the way, as we're recording this and releasing this, is the birthday of Ted Lang, who plays Isaac the bartender.
Hey, happy birthday,
Happy birthday, Ted Lang. He's still alive. I think most of the cast is alive. I don't know. Is Bernie Worrell, who plays the doctor, alive? I don't think he is.
I looked it up.
Oh, is he still alive, really?
Yeah, he's like 95 or something like that.
Wow. And Fred Grandy, who plays Gopher, he
become like a mayor or something?
He became a congressman.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's pretty. I
don't know what his politics are. There's no way I could vote for him.
He was a Republican, I believe, but he was a Republican.
Either way, it doesn't matter.
He was a Republican back when Republicans were evil, but like
pretended not to be.
Not as evil as they are now.
Yeah.
So wait, what's his name? Was on Bernie. What was his name? Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. Bernie Kopell. I'm confusing him with a musician, Bernie Kopell. Yeah, he was on Get Smart. Bernie Kopell.
There you go.
There's the cat. What did I tell you? He needs to go out of the room. So we're gonna have to take a little bit. Everybody's gonna get an opportunity to.
Look at Devin's butt.
Where'd you go? Where are you? Oh, there you are. Okay. The most exciting part of the broadcast.
There you
the cat got to go out.
Will the cat make it?
He's one of these guys, by the way, and this was an old kind of actor, which is like he was in the military for a bunch of years. Like this is a time when like you'd have like guys who murdered somebody in the mud at Incheon would then have to go be on a TV show like playing third banana laugh guy. Like it's just amazing to me. Like that's like there's a whole generation of actors who had just the most unbelievably intense experiences in life and then go on TV to do garbage stuff like this. I think that's fucking great. I love it. We don't have that anymore. No actors anymore have anything really interesting like in their backgrounds.
I guess not. I mean, no young actors, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You know, like Danny Trejo, he's got some stuff.
He's got stuff.
In prison.
But that's like, it's so rare. It's so rare. Most actors, it's like, their father worked at a brokerage and they went to,
Their mom
Smith.
was a casting director.
Yeah, they went to NYU and anyway, so yeah, Doc is a really interesting character to me. Let's start our we talked about Captain Stubing a bit. Let's talk about Doc now. Doc is the Lothario of the ship, and he's getting laid every week, and he is not a good-looking man. And it's insane to me.
I want to start before that.
Yeah.
If I walk into a doctor's office on a boat, on land, I don't care where, and the doctor's wearing shorts, I'm fucking out of there.
Well, he's always wearing shorts. Happening. That's the outfit.
He's wearing shorts in this episode.
He's always wearing shorts. No, he's always. Yeah, that's his deal. He's always.
Not always wearing shorts.
No, he's always wearing shorts. Yeah, I think they're all always wearing shorts most of the time.
Sometimes Stubing has pants on.
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes he's got black pants on. It seems to be when boarding and unboarding, he's
boarding on. I think the formal things he puts on the black pants.
Yeah, yeah. But like, if I walk, I can't. A doctor in shorts, not happening. It's not happening.
But it's so funny. Like one of his signature lines on the show, because he's always fucking passengers, and one of his signature lines is "Take 2 aspirin and roll over and wake me up in the morning," and.
Oh my god.
So he's like a real creep, though. Like this episode, he is such a fucking creep. Although he's a well-behaved creep, frankly.
Is he?
Yeah.
I have a theory about that.
Well, let's hold that until we get to the Charo story. Okay. Gopher's the comedy relief. Yes. And I like Fred Grandy a lot. I think he's really fun. I think Gopher's a fun character, and he gets all of the physical comedy.
Sure.
He does that whole bit in this episode where he walks in and out of his stateroom a bunch of times in his underwear.
Yeah.
And then Isaac is like the cool dude who gives people advice, but is also Gopher's best buddy, and so they often get into trouble together. And then Julie's the cruise director, and I would say that for an entire generation, we had a big crush on her.
Yeah.
Yeah. She has that cute haircut, and I think a lot of us had a crush on her back in the day. Later on, they had another actor join, Captain Stubing's niece.
Okay.
As a child, joined the Love Boat crew and stayed on the Love Boat all the time. And that was like more of an age-appropriate crush for kids of my generation.
That's the Wesley.
They do end up getting a Wesley. Yes, they do. They do. It's true. Yeah, it's kind of amazing how much it is Star Trek. Yeah, it really. And much like the Enterprise D, none of their missions matter anything. They're just always bringing people around places. They're just doing Uber service. The Enterprise D is always just fucking bringing people to conferences and shit. Like that's like, and then things happen on the way. But anyway, so we get 3 stories every episode, and the stories don't really connect. They might cross over a little bit, but they don't usually really connect. And it's
funny because I've seen The Love Boat before, but I don't really remember it. I'm sure I watched an episode here and there when I was a kid, but I have very limited memories of what the show was.
Yeah.
And so when this episode started and it was like, here's this story, here are the writers for this story, here's the director for the story, second story, here are the writers, here's the director, third story, here's the writers, here's the director. My first thought was literally like, this had to be so hard to do because you have 3 different groups writing and directing each story, but you want to have, the characters' emotions throughout the episode flow properly. But it turns out the characters who flow between the stories, the crew of the Love Boat, they have no emotions.
Nope.
Except for, I hope I get laid. That's their only emotion.
Yep.
So I guess it's very simple, as it turns out.
No, it's an anthology show. That's the thing. So The Secret of the Love Boat is an anthology show, and there's 3 different stories that do not connect in any. Sometimes the characters, again, might cross over a little bit or see each other, but basically I think they're probably just shooting on different days. Like I think like for 2 days it's this story shoots, and then 2 days it's this
like
story.
Monday, Tuesday is Milton Berle.
Right, yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday we're doing
Bill Bixby.
Or I guess Bill Bixby. It would be Monday, Tuesday, Charo, Wednesday, Thursday, Bill Bixby, and then Friday's Milton Berle because his storyline is like 3 scenes. So It is like his storyline has nothing on it.
Yeah, but that's the format of the show, and usually this episode's a pretty reasonable, but not quite fully explaining how it usually works, which is that usually there's the storyline where there's two people who hate each other and have to get together. Then there's a storyline where two people meet. That doesn't happen on this one. And then there's a comedy storyline that often usually involves the crew very heavily. Yeah. And that's the Charo story. It involves the crew very, very heavily. The other story is the crew will show up and they'll do stuff, but they will not be major players in those stories.
I mean, they have nothing to do with the Milton Berle story, I think.
Yeah, there's nothing to do, which is super common. They're actually involved more in the Bill Bixby story than they normally would be in a story like that.
Yeah,
because that story normally, because there's a doctor component, they end up being more involved. So let's start with that one. That's why we're watching this episode. It's because Bill Bixby, who would go on to play Dr. David Banner, the Incredible Hulk, because Bruce was too gay a name to have on television. It's one of my favorite things. Bruce is not a gay name anymore, right? Like, no, it's not a gay name.
No, I don't think so. I don't think there's any specific gay names anymore, are there?
No, I don't think there are. But Bruce was a gay name.
Bruce in the 80s, Trevor in the 90s.
Was Trevor a gay name?
Sure. Go watch any stand-up where they're doing jokes about gay people, and the guy's name is always Trevor. Trevor.
I had no idea.
I believe so, at least.
Bill Bixby is starring alongside his real wife in this episode. Yeah. So should we talk about the true story?
Yeah, let's bum them out.
Of Brenda Benet and Bill Bixby. So Bill Bixby is a really interesting dude, right? Because Bill Bixby, he's a California native. He's born in San Francisco, and he's a good dancer. And but his family doesn't want him to be in the arts. And eventually what he does is he convinces his parents after he graduates school to give him 5 years to try as an actor. And he goes to war, by the way, first. He goes to the army. He's in the Marines. But he's like a very talented dancer. He gets out and he decides his whole plan to become an actor is that he decides not to go for Hollywood. He goes for industrial films.
Oh, look at that.
And he stars in films made by none other than Jam Handy.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah, I knew you'd like that, right?
Yeah.
Why is Jam Handy of interest to you, Derek?
Jam Handy is all over MST. He makes some of the funniest friggin' shorts of all time. Yeah.
But they're not supposed to be funny.
They're not supposed to be, although I can't remember if he did Shake Hands with Danger, which is amazing. I think he did that one, but I'm not sure. But yeah, Jam Handy, 1 out of like every 4 MST episodes will start with a Jam Handy.
So Bill Bixby worked with Jam Handy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How do they never get any of those? I don't remember any Bill Bixby.
I don't remember either, but that's where he started. And then he worked his way over. He did a bunch of guest spots and things. He had little roles and things. And then he ended up getting a TV show called My Favorite Martian.
A show I loved when I was a kid.
That's a huge hit. It's funny. Bill Bixby had a couple of career-defining roles, and that it ends up being the Hulk is the one that ends up really defining him. But there's like a world where My Favorite Martian is his career-defining role. Sure. With Ray Walton. Ray Walton. Ray Walton, yes, as the Martian. Great show. He then goes in the late 60s, does a TV show called The Courtship of Eddie's Father. Big hit.
Big show.
That particularly, by the way, for me, Harry Nilsson does the theme song for that show.
Yes.
It's Best Friend, and it's a remake of his song Girlfriend, and he remade it for the show. And for like the first 9 episodes, he does the music in the show.
I didn't know he did the music as well.
when they change scenes and there's like a thing goes do 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 do, like it's Harry Nilsson. Wow. Eventually, he was too much of a drug addict and rock star to continue doing it, so they stopped. That went on for 3 seasons, just like My Favorite Martian, and that's a pretty big show. That's a show at the time that was like boundary breaking. In that it was just dealing with single parent stuff that other shows were not dealing with. It's kind of part of a wave of shows where the main dad character was a widower. That was a sort of a common thing that was happening at that point. But this show dealt with a lot of like
the My Three Sons maneuver.
My Three Sons, yeah. And that was one of the shows in that era. And but that show ended up dealing with like a lot of hot topic issues at the time. The kid on that show, Brandon Cruz, he stayed good friends with Bill Bixby. He showed up on an Incredible Hulk that Bill Bixby brought him in for, and he named his son's middle name. Brandon Cruz's son's middle name is Bixby. So they stayed friends forever, like until Bill Bixby died of prostate cancer. Bill Bixby ended up meeting this woman who he would end up marrying, and her name is Brenda Benet. And so she was on all of his shows, including Courts of Eddie's Father. And they got married and they had a kid. In the 70s, Bill Bixby was on a TV show that did not do well, but I think is one of the most important TV shows in history.
The Magician?
The Magician, which is the show that inspired The X-Files. And
it's the show that Mulder was watching when his sister was...
But that was Chris Carter making a reference to the fact that The Magician was like the show that like got him.
It was
like,
the Magician and Kolchak were the two shows.
And so The Magician is a show where Bill Bixby played a stage magician who solved crimes. Great premise for a TV show. And Bill Bixby was an actual amateur magician.
Was he? There you go.
Yeah, so he would do his own magic sometimes. But then eventually it ended up being the Incredible Hulk. He wasn't going to do the Hulk, and then he got sent the script and then had a whole conversation with Kenneth Johnson, who created the Hulk TV show about it. And he kind of fell in love with it.
And he was like, so I get paid a full salary, but I only have to be here for 3 days a week? Great.
Actually, it's a real problem for Bill Bixby because the Hulk is shot heavily on location. And so actually it was much more rigorous for him than a lot of the other shows that were all studio shows. Much easier to just drive to the studio a lot every day. They were driving all over fucking California back then. Kenneth Johnson went on to make V, by the way.
The greatest miniseries of all time.
Greatest miniseries of all time. Brenda Benet did a bunch of these shows. She ended up being on Days of Our Lives. She ended up being a fan-hated character because her character broke up the main relationship. Eventually they had this kid. Eventually Bill Bixby and Benet got divorced. When she was 34 years old, she fell in love with her personal secretary, who was a 17-year-old girl named Brenda Hunt. Wow. And Benet and Hunt started living together, and then they broke up. Then Benet took the kid out to Mammoth to go skiing, and the kid had an attack of epiglottitis, where his throat swelled up. And they gave him a tracheotomy, and it killed him. So the kid died. So she's now single. She's divorced. She has broken up with her child girlfriend, and she's all on her own. Tammy Bruce, at this point, is now involved in the National Organization of Women. She's a feminist spokesperson. And she still keeps in touch with Brenda Benet. And so one day they're supposed to have lunch. So Tammy Bruce goes over to Brenda Benet's house and unfortunately discovers that Brenda Benet has gone into the bathroom, lit candles in a circle around herself, and shot herself in the head. Tammy Bruce has a nervous breakdown and has to go to the mental institution. She gets better. She ends up getting in trouble. She continues to work for the National Organization for Women. She gets into trouble during the O.J. Simpson trial, because she starts getting racist and saying that this is not about race, it's about domestic violence, and that everybody's focus is on the wrong thing. This isn't about the racism of the police. This is about OJ as a domestic abuser. And she says stuff like, I'm done arguing with black women. She says that on television. So she gets into trouble. Argument. She gets into trouble, and she ends up leaving the National Organization for Women. She becomes a conservative talk show host.
Sure.
So she ends up as a conservative talk show host. She gets a show on News Nation. So News Nation is one of these shitty Fox ripoff channels that like everybody's 75-year-old grandparents watch, and it tells them that the immigrants are outside their house to kill them right now.
So you better buy gold.
Better buy gold. However, what that means is one of everybody's shitty grandparents who's watching insane television is Mr. Donald Trump. Mr. Donald Trump hired Tammy Bruce to be the spokesperson for the Department of Defense before moving her over to be the Deputy Secretary to the UN. Now,
hold on.
I love this. This is so exciting to me. What an incredible fucking story. She is now the Deputy Secretary to the UN, where she recently said, that they were wasting their time at a meeting because they were discussing a country that doesn't exist called Palestine. So that's Tammy Bruce. That's the story of how this Love Boat episode takes us to the Trump administration. What do you think of that tale?
Where's that domino meme?
You thought Brenda Benet shooting herself was going to be the heaviest part of that. No, it is the downfall of the American Republic. That's the heaviest part of that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's really the shot heard around the world.
Oh, boy. Somebody's going to get mad at you for that one.
Yeah.
Boy, oh, boy.
That's not a great joke.
But very sad. Brenda Benet, but there's something really evocative about her in the bathroom, like lighting candles around herself and then shooting herself.
Not.
Oh, you're going to get in trouble, aren't you?
No, maybe. All I can think of now is like it was some kind of she was doing some kind of cult ritual to destroy America. That's all I can imagine. Like surrounding herself with the candles. Who knows?
Well, so
it just took a long time.
Poor Bill Bixby.
It's tragic. It's very tragic.
Poor Bill Bixby. Now he's divorced and his ex killed herself. He gets married again.
His son has died.
His son is dead. He gets married again. Then he gets prostate cancer. His wife leaves him when he gets prostate cancer.
Jesus.
But then he got married again to the ex-wife of the Playboy cartoonist B. Kleben. Hap Kleben.
Okay.
I bring this up. I put this in your notes. There's a link.
Yeah.
At the very top. Click that link. Because Bernard Hap Kleben, Gary Larson has said that he is the main inspiration for The Far Side.
Yeah.
And
Garfield from the looks of it.
Well, so that he drew all these cats, and they are straight. He had a whole book of cat drawings, and they're straight up Far Side cats. And when you look at some of his cartoons that he was doing for Playboy, they're straight up Far Side cartoons. They're single panel. There's like one that I saw that's got a guy and he's fucking a parking meter, and it says meter violation. That's like a dirty Far Side joke, right?
Yeah.
Like that just but some of the characters that he's drawing too are heavily influential on Gary Larson. So it ends up being kind of interesting, like sort of like the lines that you could draw between all these people and all the connections. So like you can get from Bill Bixby to the end of the American Republic, but also from Bill Bixby to the Far Side. You can really get for all these different places. He did end up dying of his prostate cancer. He was very open about having prostate cancer at a time when that wasn't really discussed very often. And he went on all the TV shows to talk about his prostate. And then he died. He was 57 years old when he passed.
Yes, very young.
Quite young. He went on to direct, by the way, a bunch of stuff. He did a lot of directing. He directed a bunch of episodes of Blossom. He also directed a bunch of episodes of a TV show that only aired for one season that I can't believe I did not watch. 1983's Wizards and Warriors.
I have no memory of that.
Well, neither did I, and I had to go look it up, and it is awful looking. And it's a fantasy comedy show, and it is, really not great. But it stars Jeff Conaway from Taxi.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, huh. He's the main hero.
Okay.
And Clive Revel is the main bad guy, which is he's one of the great actors of the British stage, and it's nuts. Yeah, so he's the original voice of Darth Sidious of Palpatine in Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, so it's like again, this is why I like the old shows, because they have all these guest stars, and these guest stars are all connected to a wider universe that becomes really interesting to talk about and to know about. So I can send you the opening credits to Wizards and Warriors. It fucking sucks. But I can't believe it was 1983 on CBS. How was I not watching a TV show called Wizards and Warriors?
1983.
So I'm 9 years old. You're 5.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, part of it might be that was the year that would have been right around the time we moved from Chicago to New York, and we were living with our grandparents.
That could be it. It only aired for 8 episodes, so we definitely it was a small window for us. But yeah. Anyway, that's the Bill Bixby expanded universe.
Wow. There you go.
Yeah. So in this
Didn't
story,
even talk about the time he fought another Hulk.
he directed 2 of the Incredible Hulk movies, and is rumored to have Ghost directed the first one. So, yeah, what do you know? The Mr. Bill Bixby. How long did it take you to understand in this storyline that Maureen was not a crippled tennis player? Like that she was not like in the Paralympics?
I'm going to tell you, honestly, it took me a while because she doesn't have any cast or anything on. And I think at some point they say what happened to her, but like, she doesn't have a leg in a cast. She's like, there's nothing to signify this is a temporary wound for quite a while.
And they don't, from the beginning, they don't say anything about it.
No. I did wonder, why is she going on a cruise?
The doctor tells her to rest before the big surgery.
Yes. Why is she going on a cruise?
Because people go on the Love Boat, baby.
But it just seems weird to be like, hey, you got to be back in like a week for the surgery. Why don't you get on a cruise? Why don't you live in California? Why don't you fly to Acapulco?
No, the Pacific Princess takes off from Los Angeles.
No, it takes off from Acapulco because that's how Charo gets on.
She gets on halfway through the episode. They go to Acapulco. Yeah, the port of call for Pacific. By the way, Pacific Princess is a real boat.
Yes,
Princess
I
Lines
saw an ad for it while watching the episode, and they played the Love Boat theme.
The Princess Line is real, but the Pacific Princess from the show, it got scuttled.
Okay.
Because it got bought, and then nobody knew what to do with it, and then it ended up getting scuttled. So it's at the bottom of the ocean right now. But it is a real boat, and there really is a Princess Lines, and it's kind of weird because it's technically product placement.
Yeah.
But like, it really isn't in your face too much. It just feels like that's just the name of the ship company that they're on. Like, it feels, it's kind of weird.
But back to my point, as far as I can tell, there's no elevators on.
There is one. They have a hard time getting into it. Bill Bixby has a hard time.
Oh, that's right. They get into the elevator. That's right. Okay.
But nothing is handicap friendly in 1977.
No,
there's nowhere she can go that's handicap friendly. There's no such thing. Yeah. So that's like
they have to carry her down the stairs at one point.
That's a fight that's happening currently, in Washington, as activists are trying to create the law that will be the accessibility law.
Yeah.
So then the Pacific Princess would have to get overhauled to make it more accessible. But yeah, at this time, wherever she goes, she's probably told to take a week rest. And then the doctor probably says, you know what? Take a cruise. You're just going to hang out, and they're going to feed you, and you're going to drink, and you're just going to have a nice time, and it's going to be very relaxing. That makes a lot. The big question is, why is Bill Bixby on this fucking boat? It makes no sense.
That is the second question. Like, I don't know why he's there. They never really give a reason. So he's on vacation, I guess, but like, it's just weird.
So I think one of the buy-ins for the Love Boat is that people just take cruises, baby. Like,
maybe they did back then. I don't know. Maybe they still do.
People do take cruises.
We're not a cruise family.
People do take cruises.
Yes.
In fact, one of our beloved Ascended Masters has gone on a couple of cruises with his fiance's family. Okay. But people do. I want to go on a cruise. I really want to do a cruise.
I'd be interested. I have a buddy that worked on a cruise ship for a while.
Is it like the Love Boat?
He's never told me any good stories about it.
Is it Buddy Captain Stubing?
No. It's Buddy Luke.
But I don't drink now, so being on a cruise does have like a little bit of like a less interest.
Yeah.
Because like part of the deal will be like getting an all-inclusive and just getting shit-faced on the ocean all day.
Yeah.
But I think one of the buy-ins for the Love Boat is people take cruises. They just take it all the time. They just show up, and they don't have reasons. They're just doing it.
And I guess in some ways it makes, because this is a 10-day cruise, they say in the episode. Mm-hmm. And so you're doing a 10-day cruise. You go down to Acapulco and you spend like a day there, and then they stop in another town,
Mazatlan, right? Which is a pretty great spot. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, and in between, you're just partying on the boat.
Yeah, that's what people do on cruises. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole. The premise of a cruise is to just hang out on a boat.
Yeah,
that's the whole premise.
Nice, you know.
Yeah, but why he's on this particular cruise at this particular time,
and especially this one, it must have been very nice because there's only about 15 people on the entire boat. It's a huge ship, 15 people.
So
maybe
good.
20. Maybe
So
20.
it turns out that she is disabled temporarily, although again, the episode does not make that clear for quite some fucking time.
No.
And because even like Captain Stubing's like, oh, I know who you are. You're the beloved tennis player. He doesn't say like, I'm, excited for you to get back up on your feet soon. Or
I was
whatever.
so sad to see your injury.
Yeah, like nobody says that. It's like really interesting. Like it's just this exposition the show does not want to give us. It is just not interested in giving it to us at all. And the show is full of exposition, by the way. Like it's not like the show's afraid of having characters say, when we were together, you were too interested in writing your headlines. Like the show's happy to do that.
Oh,
So,
yeah. They're all...
So Bill Bixby is a sports writer who was in love with this woman, Maureen, and they broke up because they were both too career oriented. And now they're on the ship together. And on the first day of the cruise, he busts his
Well,
knee.
before that, they meet in the hallway.
And they just are nasty to each other.
They're
And
nasty to each other. But this is something so 70s
yeah.
that I greatly enjoyed is he's really being mean to her. Mm-hmm. He's like, look at you. You're in a wheelchair. You suck. He's being real mean. And then she says something like, that's what she says. I use your
column for fish wrap.
column for fish wrap. And he goes, hey, come on now. It's like,
no, he's definitely like, oh, you gimp, do you shit in a bag now? Like, and she's like, I think you're writing his bag. He goes, hey, now,
hey,
wait,
low
whoa.
blow. Hey.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. I couldn't stop laughing at that. His face too was like, hey, come on.
And he's like,
Don't wait for the bear.
The visual of Bill Bixby being super mean to a lady in a wheelchair is crazy. Like, it's just an insane visual. Like, it's really nuts. And so he busts his knee on the first day on the ship. She goes to Doc because her doctor said to give him her medical records, like just in case. And then it turns out Doc knows her doctor. And they went to med school together and they fucked cadavers.
I guess vastly unimportant to the storyline.
No, it is important because that doctor gets in touch with Doc directly instead of trying to get in touch with her.
Oh yeah, because he says, "Oh, I'll call him."
So that's how that's a misunderstanding. There's a misunderstanding that has to happen. Yeah. So now they're both in wheelchairs and they're wheeling around and they begin kind of rekindling the romance now that they're on even keel of being in wheelchairs. And she's like better at him at being in a wheelchair.
One little detail that I liked is he has a jankier wheelchair than her because he's just got like the ship wheelchair,
right?
And she's got like clearly like a much better one that like you would give to a sports star when
But it's still by modern standards,
it's still janky,
garbage fucking wheelchair.
It's still a garbage wheelchair. But I like that his is like that real thin, uncomfortable looking wheelchair where hers has padding and stuff. I like that. I was like, oh, that's a nice little touch they did there.
Yeah. But they start rekindling. There's a whole bit where they go to dinner together and Captain Spaulding doesn't understand. Captain Spaulding, different thing altogether.
Then this would be my favorite show. If it was just the Marx Brothers running a cruise line, that'd be great.
There's an episode of The Love Boat where Andy Warhol is a guest star playing Andy Warhol. And he does a terrible job as Andy Warhol. It's fucking insane how bad he is at being Andy Warhol. Like, it's crazy.
What do I do with my hands?
It is like, but the thing is like, it's like he's watching the show happen around him. Like, it's weird. It's really a weird episode. It's not good, and it's later period. So I think Terry Hatcher is already on because Terry Hatcher from Lois and Clark.
Yeah.
Later seasons, they have a dance group that performs every episode, and she's one of the dancers.
Oh, look at that.
She doesn't have like a real role. She's just a dancer in the thing. So I think she technically shares the screen with Andy Warhol at one point. Wow. Anyway, Captain Stubing doesn't understand that maybe they want to be alone because he comes over and just starts yapping it up to the two of them. And Julie has to be like, Cap, get the fuck out of here. I like that very much.
What's amazing is that Julie has to tell him to leave. And then he angrily says to Julie, I guess that's why they have a table for two. And it's
no, he's not angry at her. He's making fun of himself. Like he's recognizing.
I felt like he was snapping at her.
I don't think he was snapping at her. He snaps other times, but not there, I don't think. And then what ends up happening is that Maureen's doctor gets in touch with Doc and says, hey, tell her bad news. The surgery's off. We can't fix her. She's going to be crippled for life. And Bill Bixby overhears the conversation. Yeah. And Doc is easily persuaded to give up all of his medical ethics.
One of two things that should lead to Doc losing his job in this episode is this, that he's like, no, I can't. The doctor has to do it. That's part of the deal. And Bill Bixby is just like, please.
Let me tell her.
Okay. Why not?
Well, I mean, it'd be funny if he was like, you know what, I hate giving bad news. I hate giving bad news.
But what's great is he says, like, no, there's a rule book to these things. And he's like, I'm throwing away the rule book. So it's like, my man, you were very bad at your job.
Well,
it's terrible.
It's a staggering fuck up because Bill Bixby doesn't have the guts to tell her. Yeah. And so they just go on, and he actually asks her to marry him.
Yes.
What ends up happening is that later they're going to get married, and then Doc shows up and it's like, oh, hey, Maureen, good news. The surgery is on after all. It was a clerical error. Your surgery was never canceled. And she's like, wait, what? And he's like, well, didn't Bill Bixby tell you? And she goes, no, he didn't. And then so she goes to break up with Bill Bixby because she's like, you only asked me to marry you out of pity, which, by the way, is not the biggest problem in this scenario.
No.
The biggest problem is he doesn't tell her. No, I mean, for her to be mad at him, you were only going to marry me for pity. It's like, no, you kept important medical information from me. That's actually the problem.
The problem is the doc broke Dr.
No, I know. The doc fucked up, but I'm saying when she's breaking up with Bill Bixby, it should not be because you only asked me to marry you because you're pitying me because I'm crippled now. It should be, you withheld medical information from me. Like, who the fuck are you to withhold medical information from me about my own fucking life? And also, who the hell are you to get that information? I'm sorry, I'm not letting go of this doc thing. I'm not. Doc's a disaster, man. He's awful. He's always awful too, by the way. He's a fuck up. But so then he convinces her, no, actually, I do love you and I want to be with you forever. And now that it turns out that you can have your thing. And she's like, well, how are we going to make this work? Because I have the US Open and you have the World Series. And then it turns out basically the way they work it out is that he's going to put his career secondary to her career. Yeah. Is what it sounds like.
He's a modern man.
Very progressive for 1977. Yeah. So he's like, I'll skip the World Series. Yeah. And which he will not skip the World Series. There's other things he can skip. The World Series feels pretty important.
I would think so.
I would think so. And that's the end of the story. They're going to go off and get married, and they're going to try to live happily ever after.
The crew of the ship.
They invite the crew to the ship to the wedding.
Yeah.
And that's the end of that story. Which brings us to Gotcha, the Milton Berle story. Milton Berle, man, I am excited to talk about
BDB. BDB. Big Dick Berle.
Milton Berle famously had one of the biggest dicks in Hollywood. Yep. And it must have been fucking enormous because it's so famous. Yep. When he died at the Friars Club memorial for him, one of the jokes was Milton Berle's being buried on May 1st. His penis will be finished being buried on May 2nd. Phil Silver was pissing next to Milton Berle at a urinal and saw his big dick and said, hey, Milt, you better feed that snake, otherwise it's going to turn on you. Yeah. Like, he just had a huge fucking schlong. Just the biggest. And he loved showing it off. He loved flashing people his dick. Yep. And he also would often wear dresses in his comedy, and that was a point of the joke, too, was like, is he wearing a dress because his dick is so big that it's uncomfortable in pants? Yeah. Milton Berle is one of the most important people in the history of television. Sure. He started working in silent films as a kid. He was a kid actor, but eventually in 1929, he was on one of the very first TV broadcasts.
Oh, really?
Ever. Yeah. And 2 years after Philo Farnsworth invented the modern TV, or the TV at the time. It's no longer the modern TV, but the TV at the time. So it was 2 years at I think it was WGN, in Boston, maybe. They were doing an experimental broadcast, and Milty hosted it. He ended up getting a show.
And the experiment was to give a kid a giant dick.
Well, no, he was already in his 20s or 30s by then. Okay. The experiment was to show his giant.
And thus the FCC was created.
Could a TV properly broadcast a dick as big as Milton Berle's.
How far back does the camera need to be?
He ended up having a show, Texaco Theater, that was so big. It was such a huge show. It got a 97 share. That means 97% of the people with televisions were watching his show. Restaurants would close early on Tuesday nights when his show was on because people wanted to get home to watch his show.
Wild.
Movie ticket sales would drop on Tuesdays because people weren't going to the movies on those days. And that's back when people went to the movies every single day of the week because the movie experience was different. They didn't have TV to sit at home with. He was the biggest star, and he basically was, they called him Mr. Television because of this. Yep. He was the guy. And then also Uncle Milty was something else he got called. But the thing is that over time, Milton Berle couldn't keep up with the changing medium, and he ended up becoming sort of a has-been in a lot of ways. He got signed, by the way, NBC signed him to a 30-year contract in 1953. Can you imagine that?
That's some good job security.
That's crazy. They ended up voiding the contract because his shows kept failing eventually. And then he went on to do movies and stuff. None of those really hit that well. Eventually, he ended up doing a bunch of guest spots. He's all over things. His final performance. Do you know what TV show his final performance was? You want to take a guess?
I'm thinking I feel like it's going to be something like Murphy Brown or ER.
Kenan and Kel.
Kenan and Kel. Wow. Okay. I was in the right range of time, I think.
No, I think Kenan and Kel's like 10 years after ER. Because he died in 2003, man.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, he lived forever.
Yeah, but then that would be Murphy Brown.
Murphy Brown was in the 90s, bro.
If he died in 2003, that would be the 90s. If Kenan and Kel was his last thing, it had to be the 90s.
Anyway, so Uncle Milty, he kind of like his star fell in a big way. But also on top of that, he was an enormous piece of shit asshole. And he was very famous for being a screamer. There was a TV movie called The Comedian back in the 50s that was about him. And John Frankenheimer directed it, and when Milton Berle saw it, he said, "I wasn't that bad." But he was also well known as a guy who was a chronic upstager.
Yeah,
could not let anybody fucking get the last word. He had to be the guy. He ended up. So there's like a very famous bit where he was on stage with RuPaul, and he had said something about RuPaul. You know, I used to do dresses long before RuPaul was ever born. And RuPaul said, "You used to do dresses, but now you're wearing a diaper." And then he said to her, "Oh, if we're going to do a battle of the wits, give me a second to check my brain at the door," which is actually pretty funny. But he had actually used that in the 60s against somebody else. So it was,
all right, you got a good line. I mean, look, a boxer uses the same punches.
He also, when SCTV won, I want to say an Emmy or something, and he was presenting it, and they came up, and he wouldn't let them do their speech. He kept interrupting. He doing bits. Okay. Like, oh, hey, we got this show's already over 15 minutes. Wrap it up, like that kind of stuff. And finally, Joe Flaherty said to him, "Uncle Milty, go back to sleep." And Milton Berle had nothing to say to that. So Joe Flaherty fucking flat-footed Milton Berle, which I like a lot. I like that a whole bunch. But yeah, he was like a real asshole. And so like on some level, this character he's playing on this episode is kind of like maybe him. Yeah. Because this is a guy who's a real asshole in this episode.
Yeah.
And then his wife, did you recognize his wife by any chance?
No.
What? How are we the same generation? That's crazy to me. It's Audra Lindley, Mrs. Roper from Three's Company, and the Ropers. Yeah, she looks totally different because she doesn't have that crazy Mrs. Roper look. Yeah. But yeah, so Audra Lindley is playing his wife, and there's a reveal at the end of this storyline that is so insane.
The son?
They're both 70 years old, and they have a 5-year-old son.
Like a 7-year-old son? Yeah. I was like, what are you talking about? How is that possible?
So insane.
How is that possible?
It is so insane. I could not believe it.
The only thing I can think of for that is it was supposed to be their grandson, and either one of them or both of them were like, "I'm not playing a grandparent. I'm not doing that."
I don't know, man. It is so funny because she was born in 1918. She is literally
crazy.
60 years old here.
That is crazy. Yeah.
This is not one of those
And
things
also,
where
that
somebody
kid just comes up on his own.
I know, I love that too. But this is not one of those things where somebody in the 70s is in their 30s and looks 70. Like she's legitimately 60 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's fucking 70 something. Like, yeah, it's crazy. It's nuts. So the deal is that they come on the ship and there's a really bad bit of writing here where they're like, who's the person that can help us with the stateroom? And they go, oh, Julie over there. And they go over and start talking to Julie, but they never get any help.
Nope.
Nothing gets accomplished because it turns out that Milton Berle's character is addicted to doing pranks.
Yeah.
Can't stop doing pranks.
No,
and
he's a real prankster.
his wife hates it. And so while they're talking to Julie, this fucking priest just like steps into the conversation. Like, Jesus, bro, like we're having a conversation over here. I'm pranking her over here.
I looked up this guy. Oh, God, I should have.
Britt Leach?
Britt Leach.
Yeah.
Look at his IMDb.
It's crazy. Yeah.
No, but his bio.
Oh, he says he's fat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so rude.
Read it out loud.
So
Read
rude. I don't have it here.
Chubby and engaging character actor Britt Leach was born on July 18th, 1938.
What a shit thing to say.
Yeah, he's in a ton of shit though. Like,
he's also not that chubby.
He's in 2 episodes of Quantum Leap.
Yes, he is. I recognized him.
Did you recognize him?
I did. Not from Quantum Leap, but I mean, he's in a billion different things.
He's in a million things, man.
Yeah.
He's like in like Last
He was a TV
Starfighter.
character actor.
He was TV all over the place. Yeah, he's in Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker. He's in Going South. Like, these are not good movies, by the way, but they're movies that I grew up with watching all the fucking time. Anyway, so this priest and his wife come on. I guess a reverend and his wife. They interrupt, and then Milton Berle gives him the joy buzzer treatment. And the priest is like ready to curse him to hell.
Well, the wife is like, "Well, I never," and it's like, it's a joy buzzer. Come on,
I
calm down a little bit.
Although I wish people still said that because Milton Berle's reply is great.
Yes, well, maybe you should.
Maybe you should try sometime. Yeah, it's a good reply. Nobody says, "Well, I never" anymore. That's a totally. Did they ever actually say that? It was just a thing people said in comedies.
I mean, that's definitely something I've heard in Marx Brothers movies, but
that's the thing. But I'm saying, like, is it just a comedies thing? Is it just like a vaudeville? Yeah. His wife though fucking hates it. She's fucking furious. And
which, again, not to belabor the point of them being old and having a 7-year-old son, but I do believe at one point she says to Julie, like, you have to deal with it for 10 days. I've been dealing with it for like 40 years. And it's like, that's a long time. You're not even hiding that these are old people. And then you bring out their son who is...
She actually says 26 is what she said.
26? Okay. It's still a long
time. Still a long time. Also, it really raises the question of, like, what are you fucking doing with this guy? You hate this guy. Like, you despise this man.
But it is the 70s.
It's harder to get... Well, she was not able to get divorced and get her own credit card. Yeah.
So it's harder.
Good point. So she was stuck with him.
I'm going to do some headcanon here.
Yeah.
And say that they had a child... early in the marriage. Mm-hmm. That child had a child themselves, but that their child died, and now they've taken on their grandson, but they don't want him to know that his parents died. So they're like, no, we're your parents.
Their child that they had early in the marriage died in a prank-related accident.
Yes.
That's why she hates the prank so much, because there was a whoopee cushion that killed their son.
He exploded. Yeah. Milton Berle overfilled it.
Yeah. He launched into the sky and was never seen again. So Milton Berle can't stop doing bits. He just is fucking obsessed with doing bits. He does a bit on Captain Stubing that I wish we could have seen. He gives I don't know how he gave the fucking captain of the boat a dribble glass, but he gave the captain of the boat a dribble glass and ruined his...
How do you not show that?
I know, right? Like, it's crazy. I just want to know how you gave the captain a dribble glass.
I don't know.
But he ruined the captain's outfit, his white boat outfit, and he's like, I'll buy him a new one. And Mrs. Roper is like, listen, I am fucking done. Like, one more prank, I'm out of here. And we see him do a prank on Captain Steubing where he has a $100 bill on a fishing
Well,
wire.
on Gopher and Gula.
Gopher's a good. That's a good name for him. Yeah. So he's doing it on Goofus, and then, but it ends up that Captain Steubing ends up in it, and Captain Steubing ends up with the $100 bill, and Mrs. Roper cuts the little fishing line, and Captain Steubing keeps the $100.
Christmas. Yeah.
So back at the cabin, she goes to sit down, and she's like, "This is it, we're done." She goes to sit down, and he's like, "Don't sit there, sit over here." And she goes, "Oh no, I know your tricks." And she sits down in a chair, and the prank is that the chair just collapses.
He took out all the screws so it would fall.
It's insane. I'm like, "What are you doing, bro? This is horrible." So, up on the deck, he ends up putting a "kick me" sign on the Reverend's back.
Now, I want to talk about this.
Yeah, what do you want?
This drove me crazy.
Yeah.
When they cut to a close up of the "kick me" sign on the Reverend's back, it's a different colored jacket.
Yeah, they didn't have the jacket. They needed to insert shot, and they were like, "Shit, we don't have the jacket." This is close enough. That's 100% what happened.
It wasn't even close enough. He's wearing like a beige. It is like an olive green. It is crazy. I was like, "What is happening?"
Oh, it's so good. The TV used to be so good when they didn't care about stuff.
Well, I will say there is a shot in the Bill Bixby storyline at the end, or towards the end, when he's explaining that he didn't propose to her to because he thinks that she's crippled. That at one point they're shooting like her, and you can see him. He's against the stairs, and then it cuts to show her face, and it's just you can see where you're supposed to be able to see the sea, but it's just a brown wall. And I was like, "That's funny. That's just funny."
So
they just did not give a shit. They were like, "It's going to be on a 13-inch TV in 420p. Nobody cares. Nobody's gonna
So anyway, what happens then is that he then does another prank, which is that he throws his hat into the water and yells, "Man overboard."
Yeah.
And nobody cares.
No.
It's just extras walking by.
Almost. Yeah. Oh, no. None of the extras give a shit. The only people that seem to care is the Reverend and his wife. And even they're like, should we try? Like, if he did fall, should we try to save him and just let this guy die? So.
Well, he's at first he's like, "Let's let this guy die," and then he goes, "Oh, I couldn't." He's like, "It's probably a prank," and then he's like, "Oh, but I couldn't." But then it ends up being that he figures out that it is a prank. So here's what happens: is that they decide they're going to get one over on him. Yeah. And so what they do is they convince him his wife killed herself.
Insane. Who helps them?
No, it's just them. No, it's just them. No, it's just Mrs. Roper and the priest and his wife, and they're hiding in the bathroom while he reads this note that was left behind by his wife saying that because her husband died, she threw herself into the sea.
It's amazing.
It's incredible.
It's amazing. And then they jump out and scare him. I was really hoping that this would be the last we saw of him, because it freezes on his face in shock and like zooms in on him. And I was like, it would be amazing if the next thing is like, well, he died from shock. He had a heart attack because you scared him.
Oh, it's so good. I'm fucking crying. It's so insane.
Amazing. TV used to be very weird.
So when the ship docks, they get off and they're met by their way too young son. And the son is like, Milton Berle has promised to do no more pranks. And the son is like, "Hey, can I take a picture of you, Mom and Dad?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." And
my mother and father from whom I was spawned.
From whose dusty loins I came. And so he has this camera, but it's a trick camera. He presses the button and it squirts water in their faces. And Milton Berle goes, "Oh, chip off the old block." And that's the end of that story.
Yep.
The third story is Acapulco Connection. Charo,
This is a very important story to the lore of Love Boat, apparently.
I mean, sort of.
She continues to play this character throughout episodes.
Does
she shows up 9 times as this character, is what IMDb trivia told me.
Is it the same character?
Yes, she's on the show a total of 10 times. 9 times she plays this character.
That's crazy because Mrs. Roper's on the show like 6 times, and she plays different characters every single time.
There you go.
That's what they would do. They would just bring them back.
Yeah, they would just bring them back.
Because nobody was like keeping track.
No, there was no wiki for Love Boat back then.
Love Boat wiki. We're like, wait, this doesn't make any sense.
Hold on a minute.
Wait, in one episode, Gopher said this, but now Gopher's saying this. So she sneaks on the boat when they're in Acapulco. And she comes on. First, Gopher thinks that she's just there to sell stuff, which I guess happens when the boat docks.
Sure. Yeah.
People come to sell stuff. Makes sense, right? Charo, very interesting, by the way.
Yeah.
Charo is a woman. She's Spanish from Spain. And she became super fucking famous in the 1960s.
Yeah.
The deal is that she became famous in America doing the Coochie Coochie song, and that's like her catchphrase was Coochie Coochie, which she doesn't do. And she's very funny. She makes fun of herself. But the thing is that what Americans didn't recognize was that she's actually a fucking unbelievable classical flamenco guitarist.
Yes. Yeah.
Like in Europe, she is recognized as a tremendous musician.
Yeah.
In America,
here she's on Hollywood Squares.
She's on Hollywood Squares. She's the funny tits and ass Spanish girl because she's hot too. Is the thing.
Yeah.
She may have gotten married when she was 14.
Oh.
So, to Xavier Cugat, who is one of the most famous band leaders of that era, huge Latin music guy. Like America kind of got into Latin music partially through Xavier Cugat, and there will be no Ricky Ricardo, I believe, without him.
How old was he then?
66 when they got married.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, that's the way it used to go. So she would do like a lot of talk shows and shit. She was on Carson a lot, and her whole deal was that she would like make fun of her own accent, which she does a lot in this.
Yeah.
And she would do
she's bubbly and
like funny and like dumb. Like she's like sort of dumb. But that's like her persona.
Ditzy,
and
I would say, right? Ditzy is what they would say back then.
Yeah, I think ditzy might be what they would say back then. She was on Dancing with the Stars in 2017.
Wow.
Yeah. She remained married to Xavier Cugat until 1977, when she became a citizen of the U.S. She divorced him immediately.
Right out.
Once that was taken care of. So she released a bunch of albums. And she got married again to this guy, and then on every story needs to have suicide in it. This episode, so her husband committed suicide in 2019.
Oh my goodness.
Charo said, in recent years, his health began to decline. He developed a rare and horrible skin disease called bullous pemphigoid. He also became very depressed. That, along with the many medications he needed to take, became too much for him, and he ended his suffering. So it might have been like a medically assisted sort of kind of a suicide. He was a producer and her manager. And they had a kid together too. So that is Charo. She's still kicking around. I believe she's in Beverly Hills these days. I've never run into her, but I kind of would love to meet her one day because she's pretty wild. And when I was a kid, like she was just like omnipresent
everywhere. She was everywhere.
So that's the thing about Charo that's really interesting. She is one of the earliest examples of significant overexposure. Yeah. She torpedoed herself by doing everything, and so she.
Or at the same time, she was like, "This is only going to last so long. I'm going to get every dime I can out of it."
Yeah, I mean maybe, but like that is probably part of it. But I think the thing is that she.
And it's a one-note gag that she does.
But she's a real musician. That's the thing.
Yes.
So she made herself, though, like unbearable. There was a point where she was like unbearable to show up in a thing. And if she showed up in a thing, you knew it was garbage because she had devalued herself so significantly. She was one of the most famous people in the United States. And it was because she was on TV so much. But her popularity went down as her awareness grew. It was just too much. She overdid it. So, anyway, she she sneaks onto the boat, and her plan is that she is going to become an illegal immigrant to the United States. Donald Trump probably saw this episode and got very upset. The Love Boat crew helps her illegally enter the U.S.
The doc does, yeah.
I'm saying the crew, though. It's the crew.
I want to discuss before that, where they catch her, because her plan is just to like sit in a laundry basket, and that doesn't work out.
But she gets seasick in the laundry basket, and by the way, but this is why I want to talk about the Love Boat, man, because by the way, the woman, the housekeeper who's so fucking mean to Captain Steubing, that's Mary Grace Canfield. And if you are of a certain generation, you know her as Ralph Monroe from Green Acres, where she did 40 episodes. So she's a major character on Green Acres. And she has just this one appearance on the Love Boat. She's just the cranky housekeeper who really gives Captain Steubing shit, like real shit.
Yeah, she clearly gets fired after
well, she's like, you pervert. Like, that's basically her whole thing. Yeah. Like, you pervert.
Yeah.
Because what happens is they hear her moaning in the basket, and then Captain Steubing pulls her out, and here's this hot number. This spicy jalapeno would be the kind of joke they would have made in the 70s about her. And, the housekeeper's like, I'll come back later when you're not fucking her.
But anyway, to my point, they catch her. And they're like, oh, you're a stowaway. We're going to make you get off at the next stop, which is not America. In the meantime, though, as your punishment, you have to go fuck the doc. That's what they do. Why would she have to stay in the doc's quarters?
It's funny because they all know the doc is a creep and a horn dog. So it is like feeding her to the wolves. Yeah, it's 100% feeding her to the wolves. So she has to go stay with Doc, and Julie is not excited about this.
Julie's is like, I believe this is horrific, a horrific crime.
This feels like human trafficking now.
Yes.
But Doc's being a good boy. He's going to let her sleep in the bedroom while he sleeps on the examination table.
Yeah.
And but however, it's like unclear. She's maybe into him. It's like not really clear.
Yeah. She's got that bit where she wakes him up and he's not wearing a shirt, and she says, do you look like that all the way down? And he says, no, I branch out into legs, which I thought was funny. I appreciated that. But yeah, I think she's just kind of flirtatious. Although they definitely suggest on the second night they fuck.
It's suggested. It's just hard to know if it really is the case or if Doc is being a good boy the whole time, because Julie really is concerned. Like,
rightfully so, because when Gopher brings her to his room, Gopher's like, we got this one for you. And Doc's like, oh, yeah. Oh.
It's horrible. He closes the door behind Gopher and like leans up against the door, and he's like, well, hello there. Like, absolute predator behavior.
Yeah.
It's
he's
so
like, I'm a doctor. I wear shorts.
It's really, he's like, time for that checkup. I'm going to be your OBGYN. It is very bad. It is very, very bad. But what they decide is that they are going to let her perform.
Well, she sneaks back on.
She's back on after they let her off at Mazatlan.
And they're like, how do we make sure that the captain doesn't get too angry about this?
Right.
And they're like, oh, I got an idea. We won't tell him. We'll have her perform at a talent show. And when he sees how talented she is, he'll have no choice but to be okay with it. Which none of them actually know if she's talented.
They have no idea, but they know she's hot.
Not a clue. Yeah, all Doc knows is like, I want to get more of that. That's all he knows. And Julie's like, I'm just trying to make sure that she does not get murdered. like, that's what's going on there. Then they have a talent show.
How good would a crossover between the Love Boat and Law and Order SVU be?
That would be, I mean,
come for Doc.
We'll get to it because I have a theory about what happens at the end of this. But yeah.
Well, Captain Steubing is indeed delighted by her.
Yes.
She performs and she's flirty with Captain Steubing from the stage.
She's flirty with Captain Steubing. Well, first Gopher and Isaac do a show
which is amazing.
Haunting. I don't understand what it was.
This people did this. This is a show I've seen other people do where they're wearing like they have.
Usually it goes on for more than 12 seconds, and they don't just walk off the stage as the song starts. I don't understand what's happening.
They're wearing they're wearing giant hats that cover everything down to their rib cage. And then their arms are up in the hat, and they have faces painted on their naked bellies. Yeah. And then they do a whistling act, and they push their bellies in and out to make the belly button look like it's whistling.
But they don't do that. They just stand there and then walk away. It's so weird. It is so weird.
It's so good. It's so awful.
But before they do that, Gopher makes a horrific remark about short people.
He says, "I know show business. I have an uncle. I have an uncle who's a midget," which is what his exact line is. That's the exact. That's the word he uses. Don't get mad at me. It's an incredible joke. It is really insane. Like, I cannot imagine that joke. I mean, that joke probably fucking played like gangbusters back then, though.
Yeah.
So Captain Subing's charmed by her, and when they get to Los Angeles, he's like, "Hey, good news. You can't stay on this boat, but I got you a job with the Princess Cruise Lines."
This is what I think happened.
What do you think happened?
I think after the show, Julie went to Captain Subing and was like, "You found her as a stowaway. You gave her to Doc,
who's we all know is a pervert.
Well, what was going to happen. She got back on the boat. Now we are stuck with her. We have a lawsuit on our hands." Because Captain Stubing comes out and he says, "I got you a job. You're going to be a talent on another ship. Another ship. You're not going to be here with Doc. And you're being paid $300 a week."
I like the negotiation they have. I think it's very funny.
The negotiation is funny. Do you know, adjusted for inflation, how much $300 a week is?
How much?
$1,900 a week. She's getting paid.
She may not be going every week, though. That thing, I think, is that you have time off between cruises.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how it works. But
I think you might only work a bunch of months out of the year, not the whole year.
Maybe. But even $300 a week in 1975 or whatever, that's amazing.
They used to pay people to do stuff back then. That's the thing. They used to pay people to do stuff. So, this was a time when Bill Bixby could be a sports writer and have a comfortable life because they paid people. They pay people to do stuff.
Yeah.
So, that's the thing. I mean, I think it's great. I think it's great that she's getting paid $300 a week. And
I also think part of it was, this is hush money. Don't talk about what happened to you on this boat. I think that's part of it.
And then that's the end of the episode. She goes off, and she's going to work for the Princess Lines. And I did not realize that. Whatchamacallit? She came back as the same character. Yeah, I had no idea.
She had my favorite line of the episode.
Yeah,
which was where'd it go? Don't throw me off the port bow. I'm allergic to sharks. They make me break out in tooth marks. I thought it was very funny.
That's a good one, too.
I thought that was a very funny line.
That's a good one, too, yeah.
And then I don't remember what it was, but at some point, the Doc makes a joke and Charo, almost vomits. I think she just couldn't take how bad the joke was, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah,
so
Charo's
in this episode, the Doc breaks patient-client confidentiality and assaults a guest or a stowaway on the ship with the captain's permission, because the captain sends her there as punishment. And this is the 4th episode of the show. Where do they go from there with the Doc? Is the 8th season just his trial? What happens?
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, Doc is awful, but I kind of I love the fact he's not good looking. He's like the Lothario. All the women throw themselves at him episode after episode. It's crazy. Yeah. It's nuts.
Clearly Isaac is the best looking of the crew. Of the guys.
Oh yes, he is a handsome man.
He's a good-looking guy. He's a handsome man.
Gopher's not a bad-looking guy either.
Gopher's an okay-looking guy. He's a little goofy-looking, but he's got that boyish charm thing going for him.
And Captain Stubing has the authority, I think he rocks those sidewalls really well. He looks really good with those sidewalls. Yeah,
he does.
But Doc
looks like death warmed over.
He looks like
Doc looks like the kind of guy that if he was your neighbor, you would tell your kids, like, stay away from that guy's house. Don't go near that guy's house.
He looks like Jeffrey Dahmer's dad.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
So I know you're still alive, Doc, and I'm sorry for being so mean to you, but
I mean, this is
you're
about
a disgusting person. So I don't know what to tell you.
Can't wait for you to pass away, Doc. You can't wait.
I don't want the actor to pass away. I want Doc to pass away.
Oh, man.
He suggests that they had sex with a corpse. So.
That's the best part. Back when we were sharing a cadaver, and you're like, "Wait, what?" And obviously,
and he's like, "That's a story for another time." Like, what?
So fucking funny, man.
What is going on? What is going on?
Oh,
insanity!
Man.
Insanity.
So, what'd you think of this episode of Love Boat, bro?
I mean, it moves relatively quick.
Yeah.
With the 3 stories. That's very smart. I do think it's very interesting that the Bixby story, the turning point halfway through moment isn't her learning that he didn't tell her. And then, like, he has to win her back. He wins her back in, like, 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, which I was a little surprised by. I thought there would be more time between, you know. So that was shocking to me a little bit. I mean, the Milton Berle storyline was terrible.
I know, it's so good, isn't it?
But it has the best ending because you were not prepared for a 7-year-old child to show up and be like, "Mom, Dad," and they're like, "It's our son." Like, I rewound it 3 times. I was like, I must have misheard grandson. I must have just not heard grandson properly. Nope. Gopher says son. Oh, it's your son. They say son. I was like, this is insane. This is insane.
It's so good.
That's the best ending of them all. I guess back when there were 3 channels, it's probably as good as anything else that was on. Like, I don't know what it was up against every week.
I watch this all the time now.
Yeah.
It's great. I watched it
It's
then.
very relaxing and comforting.
It's so it's a real comfort show because I think the thing is that, like, the show has a structure that it always goes by. Everything gets resolved by the end. Nothing is too over the top. Like, I mean, there's crazy stuff that happens sometimes, but, like, most of the time it's, like, pretty reasonable. Yeah, I just really fucking absolutely love this show. And I love I love that we could talk about this show and get ourselves to the Trump administration, not by just jamming it in, but because, like, it fucking
not because
is
the show
connected.
isn't in any way political. Because
it is connected. It is straight up connected. Actually, I want to do next week. We hadn't decided what we want to do next week, and I'm going to throw this by you. Hopefully that you're going to agree with this. There is an episode that is political.
Oh.
And it happens later in the show. And it's season 5, episode 15. And it's called Gopher's Roommate.
Oh, I know that one.
How do you know that one?
I've seen it.
You've seen this one?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a pretty well-known episode. It's a big deal.
I don't think it's well-known, but it's a big deal.
Well,
I know it. The Love Boat tackles trans acceptance.
Yes.
In the year 1982. And so obviously that must mean that this is a deeply problematic and fucked up episode, right?
Either that or we've solved the problem already. Like, there's now trans acceptances everywhere because in 1982 they were discussing it. So. Oh, no, turns out we're still a horrific society of people.
No, actually, what you're going to find when you watch this episode is that we're actually worse than we were in 1982.
Yes, that's what
Yes, we're worse. We're way worse. Like, it is, like, significantly worse.
It's
because
wild. It's pretty wild.
So that's what we're going to watch. We're going to watch Gopher's Roommate, season 5, episode 15, as we continue our wait for Wonder Man. I don't know if we're going to have anything as exciting as getting from Bill Bixby to his wife's suicide to Donald Trump.
I hope not. I mean, that was rough.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what we're going to do next week. Again, as we prepare our way to get to Wonder Man. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening and watching. We will see you guys again next week. Until then, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you be well. We will see you across the Omniverse.